All right, all right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to yet another happy hour show. Cheers, everybody. Welcome in, Gunther. Big K, how y'all doing?
Oh, very good, gentlemen. How
Yeah.
are y'all doing?
Good.
Great.
Good. I guess Big K, you're in no place to have a beverage just
Well, I
yet.
do actually. Right around the corner, I have a bottle of wine that's open. It's a lovely 7 Sauvignon Blanc. I'm waiting for some oysters to be dropped off at the table, but I felt like it was a little loud inside so, excuse me for, the echo in here as well. It's a
Gotcha.
normal studio.
All good, all good.
Eating well in a bear market, I see.
Indeed, sir.
I'm ready to
This
transition to
is,
ramen
listen,
noodles.
we didn't. I didn't get the seafood tower this time. We went with the
Yeah.
just a dozen oysters.
Yeah, scaling it back, I see.
Yeah.
It looks like we're getting the raid from DJ Cryptomatic as DJ Nom Nom has announced the entrance. So, welcome all from over there. Thank you again, DJ Cryptomatic, for the excellent 80s pregame show. Saw a lot of you guys over there, and that including Hexagon Girl. And what's up, Hex Ed? Hexagon Girl's she's on YouTube, she's on Twitter, she's boosting the viewer count. So, thank you all. Hey Gunther, man, what are you having to sip on over there?
Oh, this is strawberry acai from Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
I don't drink that often. Occasionally, but it's rare.
Pulse Doge Godwell Gunther. Yeah, we're gonna talk plenty of Pulse Doge here in a bit. Big K, I know you're in the midst of traveling, so I didn't know if you had anything that you wanted to touch on before
Yes.
you
So
transport, and then we can regroup later when you come back.
Yeah. So for all the DJ folks that just came in the room from Cryptomatic that enjoy good music, I have awesome announcements for the Cubs' first pitch that I'm throwing out here in what is it? Not even 11 days. So 11 days from now,
It is 11 days, right? No,
Yeah,
12,
12.
right?
12 days. Yeah. 12 days. The 15th of June here coming up, 7:05 p.m. There'll be a Cubs game right beforehand. I'll be throwing out the first pitch at this Cubs game against the Dodgers. We're gonna do a little Hexagon meetup event ahead of time. So if people want to come out, you're in Chicago, come on down to Wrigleyville. We're doing a meetup at the place is called 365-VIII. So like if you search that 365, it's right in Wrigleyville there. So if you just type in like bar Wrigleyville 365, it'll probably come up. It's right across the street from Wrigley Field. So we'll have a couple kick-ass DJs, MZG, who's like a twins duo. They're some great friends of mine that are awesome. They're anybody that came out to my Vegas party would have seen them there. They'll be playing. Also, a gentleman, DJ Airwolf, will be also playing. Who's pretty kick-ass. He's done some awesome set breaks for Fish and some other kick-ass bands too. So he's also should be a lot of fun as well. We'll
also an excellent show in the 80s, may I add.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. This stuff's super funky and should be lots of fun, crowd pleasing. And it's like an indoor-outdoor beer garden kind of place. We're doing, it's like $10 suggested donation, and it's all going to go to charity, like a local charity, because there'll be food and drinks and stuff there, and everyone can hang out and enjoy the festivities if they don't want to go to the game. And then we'll close up that at like 6 o'clock and go right across the street to watch me throw out the first pitch, which should be badass. I'm super excited. Awesome experience. I can't wait.
Yeah, neither can I, and I can't wait to meet a whole bunch of new people whom I have not met yet. So that's going to be awesome. What time does that pregame start again?
2 o'clock. So
2
like
o'clock. So it's a
6.
4-hour pregame?
4-hour pregame. People can come
I
by
hope
all day. So
you're going to be throwing a curveball whether you like it or not.
Well, I'm not going to be getting silly beforehand. That's for sure. I'll be enjoying some diet sodas or club sodas or whatever ahead of time. I'm not going to get.
I have a diet soda right here, as a matter of fact.
There you go. But I will not. But I will not. I suggest everyone else enjoy themselves. I've got a lot of friends and family. We've got well over. The venue holds like 300 people. Between Hexagons that I know coming and other people, we should have more than half of that filled easily, and probably a couple hundred people there at least, so that I know directly. And a lot of them, like I said, friends and family, kids, families with, so like it's, a daytime thing is better as well. It's right across the street from Gallagher Way, which like they turned into like this awesome open green field where kids and adults and they can play and throw the ball around and do all. There's like a super awesome area right outside the Cubs to ballpark now to hang out and stuff. So like there's it'll be fun. Like I said, a fun long pregame, sure, but it'll be better that way, I think, than having anything afterwards. Cause it's like a Wednesday game, and who knows when the game ends. So that would be a little taxing to do a late night excursion on midway through the week. I'm not saying that we can't go out after the game. I'm not saying that that can't be a thing. But
2 to 2.
You've already had a few drinks today, haven't you?
Well, honestly, I just had about one glass of that Sauvignon Blanc before I didn't even finish the whole glass before.
Oh yeah, you're good, man. It's messing.
No, I'm super excited. I'm getting super stoked about the event and everybody coming out to check it out. Hexicans and friends and family alike. It should be lots of fun.
Yes,
responsible and only eat edibles. Yeah, that's also super dangerous. Like edibles will hit you way harder than smoking reefer, man. That's for damn sure. It's really silly out there.
So yeah, once again, if for those who just got in, Big K's throwing out the first pitch, Wrigley Field, Chicago Cubs game versus San Diego Padres on Wednesday, June 15th. So
yes, and everyone is invited. If you're looking for tickets, so like I had, I got 100 and something tickets or whatever that we got, and we got rid of all of them. Like we have them all basically accounted for. Besides, we're going to do a giveaway. If whoever's in the most Hexican garb, head to toe, who's fully decked out in Hex swag, we've got 10 seats pretty close to right behind home plate, like section 18 right there, like 10 rows up or so. It's perfect area to be able to be, within visual range of the cameras. So anybody who's fully decked out, we've got some upgrades. But other than that, if anybody else wants to come and get tickets and go, there's a ton. I mean, it's funny actually. The tickets that we got, we have a whole bunch of bleacher seats. So they're like the general admission tickets. They're like, you can go on StubHub and get them for like even cheaper than I got them for. I was looking today, they're like $30 or $25 or something like that. So you can get pretty cheap bleacher seats and come on out. And like, yeah, hexmerch.com has some super kick-ass swag. They did some awesome baseball jerseys. You should have a cool baseball jersey that I'll be wearing too out there as long as the Cubs don't censor me. We'll see.
Yeah, I know you have some apparel. Yeah, I was gonna say, but are you gonna get it approved beforehand, or is there like a more toned down option that you can step down to? I have a couple different toned down. I have a couple options that we'll all there'll be something will get out there one way or another. I mean, I've got some super kick-ass cleats being made, so I'm excited. Outstanding. All right, and let's welcome in. I believe he's ready. If not, we'll just boot him. Motley Investor, how you doing?
What's up, bro? Doing good.
Good.
What's up, Motley?
What's up, Gunther? Long time no see.
Ages, man.
Sir, I've been here. You disappeared.
No, I was always around. You just didn't know it.
Yeah. I know your alts are always lurking. I act accordingly.
Yeah, so we got Motley, Big K, Wendy's for Tendies, I think, is on the way. Or just
we tried to do the 2-person setup, and
yeah.
there wasn't enough room, so he got frustrated and ran off.
Oh, okay, I got you. It's like the TV setup because everything is filmed very nice and tight for camera, but in real life it looks like y'all are like sitting on each other's lap. So.
Pretty much. Well, we're working on filming some pre-recorded stuff, so like it's been set up for like one person, so it's a pain in the ass to like reset everything up for 2 people. So
okay, gotcha. Well, let's welcome the man in right now.
There you go. See, that works.
It's magic.
Yes, magic.
It's what we're used to, anyways.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought 4Tendies was a woman.
That's what everyone says.
Oh.
Yep. They would think
That's just truly disappointing.
Sorry to disappoint. I have a cock.
if if you're disappointed, go back and check the thumbnail after the show, and there's plenty there for y'all to check out. So, yeah. Going through chat, just want to say hello to everyone here. What is up, Wild SJ? What is up, Marion? What is up, Hexy Quinn? We have all the ladies in here. Hexagon Girl. What's going on? So Yash Deep in the chat. Marion, Brazology, Randy Hilarski's in here. Jimrat Crypto. I'm missing a ton of people because I'm a little behind here, but thank you all. Yeah, Yash is in the building. So yeah, Big K, Wednesday, June 15th, once again, Chicago, Wrigley Field. So that's the first pitch. Yeah, I can't wait, man. Going out there, and I know a bunch of Hexkins, I think plenty in here in the chat are actually going. And,
Indeed.
It'll be
Excited to see everyone out there. It should be lots of fun.
Yeah. So let's get started, shall we, gentlemen, on some crypto matters. I mean, there's no shortage of news, really, in this crazy world that we live in. I guess the first thing I should bring up, while Wendy's is top of mind, is during DJ Cryptomatic's stream, he said he had Wendy's in San Diego and he thought it was terrible. So I don't know if those are fighting words or what, but wow. I've always loved Wendy's, no matter what it is, the spicy chicken or the hamburgers. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, their menus, they're actually kind of going through some financial troubles with the, like the pending recession and everything. I've heard that they're like looking to, sell their catalog, but it's very different from the other chains, right? You got you can get a baked potato, you can get chili. They got the frosty machines never down. Come on, let's be real. Sometimes you're in the mood for ice cream. You go to Wendy's, they're going to deliver 100% of the time, and they don't cut corners like McDonald's. So
that's like a pizza slogan.
Their patties are literally square. That's true.
Yeah. They are square.
Now, the entire crypto world wants to know, 4Tendies, do you dip fries in the frosty?
I have, but I don't typically. No, actually, you can order cheese sauce. It's not on the menu, but you can order it, and I dip it in that.
That's for the insiders, huh?
Yeah. You got to be a real insider to know that.
Off-menu cheese.
The Wendy's secret menu.
Yep.
I hear Wendy's is hiring now during this bear market. A lot of crypto guys. Wendy's, McDonald's.
Yep.
Submit your applications.
Good. Yeah, it's good. It's good advertisement.
Oh man.
Not to me though. Don't submit them to me.
Oh shit. All right, where are we at here? Just before the show started, we had breaking news from Richard Hart on Twitter. So I just wanted to bring this up real quick. Today is 6/3. My PP is 6/3 around. That is all. So there is your update, everybody.
So no mainnet. Got it.
There it is.
Did you say main nut?
Yeah.
LOL.
You guys are going to lose the female audience.
What are you talking about? They love that shit. You ever watch the girls stream?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have, and it's like the fawning over the 6/3 is quite something to behold. So yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Hexacat. I still need dark mode. I don't know. I just never bothered, but it's dark on my phone and stuff. But yeah, to each their own. Fast food alpha. Yes, I mean Wendy's has received lots of compliments on it for his recent appearance on Matty Allen's show about all the alpha dropping there, which I find kind of funny because you've been here a lot. You've been streaming with Motley a lot. You had great stuff on Jimrat Crypto, and I think it was just kind of like the Matty Maxi audience that had not seen you yet.
yeah.
The Matty bubble.
Well,
Right.
It's funny because there's always I've showed my face for almost a year now, and there's always people like, oh, I thought you were a girl, or whatever. It's I've met hundreds and hundreds of hexagons in person. I've been on tons of streams, and it's funny because we have a small niche community, but people stay watching the same shows and stuff like that. And that was one of the reasons why I was like, oh, let me branch out. And actually, it went really well. It was a good conversation, and yeah, it just flowed really, really well. Got to talk about a lot of different topics, and yeah, felt good.
Yeah, got to pump the old Legion Telegram chat and all that other good stuff too. So
T.me/Legion VC News. Yeah.
That's the
Holla at
one.
us.
That
Yep.
one.
Yeah. Let's see, where else are we at? So I guess Gunther, we'll go over to you and start, I guess, a part of a conversation that we've had, I guess, in the green room, and it's been on social media. If anyone watched the Gym Rat stream, which was outstanding, I recommend checking that out. Anything with Gunther and 4Tendies on there. Motley's been there as well. Really good content in the mornings. When you were over there, Gunther, the matter came up because I believe it was on this very show when we started talking about Hedron. And I bring these points up here because, as we were just talking about, not everybody watches all of the HEX, PulseX related streamers content. And so that's why I like to cover a lot here, because we have our own kind of tribe for the show. So you were, dare I say, quite very bullish when you were on regarding Hedron. And then I'll let you take it away here in a second, but you kind of reallocated the portfolio into other things, perhaps using that Hedron, and then people were like, well, you pumped it and you dumped it on us, blah, blah, blah. And really, to each wallet their own. But I wanted to open it up to you to have you talk about how that went down and your thinking behind it, and take it away there.
Sure. Yeah, well, I'll kind of touch on it, I guess, somewhat briefly, but people could also watch the other streams too for a more like detailed story. But yeah, I get why some people are upset, because I showed up on the stream, was pretty bullish about it. But like I sort of with Hedron, I guess I sort of updated my like worldview on it, like in real time, in a very dynamic and volatile like market. So I ended up before I actually hit the sell button, I ended up getting some advice from a bunch of analysts that were looking at the chart, and we were just discussing like how like overvalued it probably was, because it went up 13 times in 9 days. And
were these analysts that you're citing just TA market chart guys? Or are they crypto guys? Are they Hexkin guys? What kind of company?
They're guys in a private chat. They're big players in Hex.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got some advice from them and just thought about it a lot. And I was actually running the numbers too. I was thinking about like, wow, like Hedron at this value, would be crazy how much money you could actually extract as like a large player, like per month. Like I started running the numbers and it was something crazy, like $20,000 per month. And just thinking about it, I just thought, wow, there's a high likelihood that this price chart is actually going to really crash and crash hard.
I'll be back, gentlemen. I agree with that take. But I'll be back, gentlemen. I'll see you all very shortly.
See you, BK. Yeah. So because I started thinking about like, wow, look at all these like major players like myself who could just like mint tokens like every month and be able to extract value. And I started thinking about the sell pressure. And then as I thought about it more, I just thought, well, there's sort of like a major design flaw with Hedron, in the sense that you could mint, like if you claimed like in the first period of whatever it was, where you could get 10x multiplier or whatever, I just thought, this is crazy. Like it's not like a one-time free claim. It's like a perpetual like minting of Hedron with that 10x multiplier. And most of the big players like the sharks and the whales, you got stakes going out 10 years, 15 years. And then when I did
money printers, you have 24/7 access to, right? Like every day you can extract value from them if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. And so I also started to see that at the very peak, large wallets were already dumping. They literally were dumping the price. And from my oh man, it got wrecked. Jesus, I haven't looked at it in a few days. But yeah, from my perspective, I was just tired of being dumped on by everyone in HEX. Like I've just been mega dumped on for months, like consecutive months. And then at the time, my portfolio with Hedron was pretty sizable. Some of it I had minted for free, and some of it I had bought like basically at the bottom. So by the time I got to the top, I think I had maybe 183 billion or so. And so I decided, I basically made like in real time, I updated my worldview and dynamically with a very volatile market, and decided that it would be a better play for me to just extract value and then reallocate that money into something else, because they were going to mega dump this anyway. Like I saw it like already at least going back as a double bottom. In fact, it's formed a lower low now. So I basically just executed a swift trade. I market dumped it in batches of 3 billion Hedron. It was just a blitz dumping. I guess the only thing I really regret is that it hurt a lot of people, and I regret the fact that I had done a live stream a few days prior, and then so it looks like I lured people into a market like maliciously or with like evil intent, but that's not actually the case. Like I just saw like this would be a great opportunity for a good trade, and I saw that there's to be too much sell pressure, I think, and so I really just changed my mind on the matter. That's what it came down to.
The crazy thing is, like, me and Motley, like from the beginning, we're telling everybody this, and we got a lot of shit. There was so many people that were like, "You guys don't understand Hedron, yada yada yada." And then it's like, okay, well, what are you doing now? You selling now, or are you holding? Are you buying? It doesn't look like many people are buying. So just kind of crazy.
You don't see buyers on the chart. In fact, if you have buyers, it's really just exit liquidity.
Like this afternoon, guy bought 100 and some billion, and that candle's gone now because that kind soul was exit liquidity for a lot of guys who were just like waiting.
I think like a lot of people just, especially like lower players, just don't realize how many T-shares some people have. And that's what me and Motley were trying to explain to people, that we know people with crazy high amounts of T-shares, and they were dumping, Lamborghinis at once, of Hedron. And it's like, that was just a one-time thing, but they also had so many shares that it just kept printing more and more and more. So yeah, it kind of sucks.
People just see all those zeros out in front, right? And then they got some for free, and they just see the opportunity. That's like the new thing. I think like people see like 3, 4, 5, 6 plus zeros in front of these coins. They're like, well, if it just gets to one, it's like the Doge coin, right? Like if it got to $1, then like I'm killing it. If it got to a penny, I'm killing it. So like people get caught up in that kind of narrative. And I think the issue with Gunther and everything like that is people are able to sell their coins regardless, right? Like you should never give people shit for selling what they bought, what they earned in airdrop, what have you. We sometimes just have to be a little bit more careful if we're going to be public voices and educators in the space. Obviously, we have a little bit more responsibility when we make statements and then go against them the following day or what have you. So that's like when Gunther went on Jim Rat's Crypto, I asked him, because we're going to probably talk about Pulse Dogecoin today here. Same kind of situation.
You think?
He did. Yeah, he did promise to set limit orders. I guess my question to Gunther is, I know the market was dynamic and crashed, like you said, but you could have set a limit order. That would have been a much better practice to get out of your position, setting some limit orders, getting out that way. But again, this is why we stress it's so important to get your information and knowledge from multiple people, multiple sources, and then make an educated decision for yourself. Because ultimately, if you want to get into Hedron, if you want to get into Pulse Dogecoin, HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, you name it, it's your responsibility at the end of the day. So to be reliant on your decisions based off what one person tells you, even if they do something else off air or what have you, it's still ultimately your responsibility, right? You got to take some ownership to a degree. Just like we as streamers and educators take ownership in what we say, we have to understand that we're going to face some backlash as well if we don't do what we say publicly. So you both got to accept a little bit of responsibility there.
I actually, in full transparency, I actually learned a great deal from the decision that I made with Hedron. I learned that from the point of view of optics, I knew that I would never make a decision like that again. Like I would just extract value in a more intelligent way. In fact, I think there's a better way even than limit orders. I think the best way is actually one-sided V3 Uniswap if you want to extract value, or even if you want to buy your way in, you just set up a one-sided buy wall, or if you want to extract value in the future, a one-sided sell wall. It's the most intelligent way where it does not hurt the price. So for example, if you have like Pulse Doge, let's say Pulse Doge goes up like 100x in value. And let's say that you're like a larger like wallet or whatever, let's say, and you want to extract maybe 1% of your position. You want to take a little bit of profits off the table. Well, you could just do a one-sided V3 unique LP position where you put 1% of your Pulse Doge into that unique pool at a certain specified price range. And what happens is buyers come in, they buy the Pulse Doge from your unique wallet, and they leave behind USDC. And then by the time they've gone through your sell wall or whatever, they have taken all of your Pulse Doge that you put in, which was just 1% of your position, and you walk away with USDC. The price chart was not harmed.
Plus
actually,
fees.
The price went up, and you were able to extract value in a very responsible way.
You get good fees too.
Yeah, you earn fees, and you're only paying ETH transaction for when you add liquidity and when you remove it, and that's it. You don't have to sit there and click your ledger a million times. You can honestly just enjoy life, come back and check your pool or whatever, check your position. So this also works great for buying. But yeah, anyway, that's the most intelligent way actually to extract value. So I let's put it this way. I'm evolving. And if you think people can't evolve, you'd be dead wrong. Let's take D01, for example. D01 used to murder the hell out of the price of HEX on multiple occasions. But D01 evolved and got smarter and started extracting value in different ways, and then started staking and that kind of thing. So people can evolve and just be smarter about how they do things. So,
and for anyone wondering, D01 is Dopey the Whale, affectionately known by Motley Investor. So, yeah. But the account is, I'm not saying the person is, but yeah. And yeah, I think that account may have staked out, I think, for 100 days or something like that for the last stake. And just curious of that, how that behavior plays out, because perhaps within that amount of time we could see PulseChain, who knows, but maybe he's trying to play that kind of thing. Another interesting discussion I think you were a part of, this was on Twitter, Gunther, but Tendies chimed in on it, and so did I. And I think it's just a really fascinating conversation, really, is because we've seen this staking behavior pretty much since the beginning of HEX. So we have, everybody's familiar with, say larger rolling stakes, like you got a guy that's like, got 10 million or 15 million HEX, and they roll it from month to month. But the conversation also turned to, say, these guys with 50, 100, 150 million HEX, and what are they waiting for? Are they waiting for anything, or is it just a kind of recurring income kind of thing? Which really right now that's kind of where my mind's at. I hear you and Wendy's, I think you're more on the side of these guys could possibly just be waiting for enough exit liquidity, and then they'll nuke that entire position. I guess kind of on the other side of that, just to where, why nuke it if you can at least extract the value that you want / need for however long a time. Obviously you're losing T-shares if you keep doing the same time frame, but just wanted to open up to you guys about that, because I thought it was a really fun, obviously speculative conversation, because likely don't know these wallets or anything like that.
I think it's a combination, actually. So I think you have good players that are literally just have rolling stakes. They earn interest. They prefer to have that liquidity, right, accessible. Maybe there's a life emergency or whatever, and they just keep rolling it over and adding the interest and compounding that way. And I think those players are just fine. But I think there's also some other players that have large positions. They don't really have faith in the system long term, and you're just speculating this, right? Yeah, we're just all speculation. Yeah, it's not because you could obviously see on the price chart if someone's mega dumping, right?
Yeah.
It's very
I mean,
clear.
we saw that, exit, was it the rage quit of the liquidity provider?
Yeah, the
was definitely an
140
emotional one.
million. I mean, that the biggest pleb move, that one of the biggest pleb moves that I've seen in Hex history. You're going to pull 140 million Hex from an LP position at the bottom,
Then market sell, one market sell.
Yeah, then market sell. So you're eating fat slippage.
Millions.
You're pushing the price down against yourself. What else? You're getting front run by like Mev bots, so they're also extracting value from you.
Wrecked.
What else? Was there a MetaMask swap involved? So you're sucking middleman's dick too, or was that somebody else?
Was it a MetaMask swap?
I don't know. Might not have been.
Might as well just throw that into it.
I was gonna say, might as well.
I mean, you might as well at this point.
I think that was somebody else.
No,
Yeah.
somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't pull off the trifecta quite there. But
it doesn't make sense though, because like people could have just followed like what I did. Okay, so maybe I'll give you a little backstory on what I did with the money after I sold Hedron. And I think this might be useful to a lot of people in Hex. They could learn from this. So what I ended up doing is I took about $800,000 of that $875,000, and I bought the bottom of Hex. It was the bottom at that time at 11.6 cents. I injected $800,000 to protect and defend the price of Hex because I care about that asset. This helped jumpstart the bull run to 20 cents, by the way. And then, of course, it just got mega dumped down by all the sellers. Then what I decided to do was create 5555 HSIs to show support for the Hedron platform, even though I blitz dumped, right? Because I see value in those like stakes, and here's why. I wasn't expecting PulseDoge to launch. PulseDoge launched out of the blue. Like no one knew that was coming except for the anonymous founder. And when that came on the scene and I saw the value proposition of that, I decided to tokenize my HSIs and list them as NFTs on OpenSea. You can list them for a 2.5% fee. You could sell them directly for USDC. They're all max stake length. So when you sell them, the buyer can't just end stake, else they're going to lose all their money. They're forced to hold it or sell it to somebody else. So I found, and I won't disclose who this is, but I found another Hex shark that was willing to buy it. And I sold $750,000 of HSIs, which demonstrates that you can over the counter sell Hex to someone else. Like the guy that pulled the 140 million Hex, he could have created an HSI, even if it's a short one, but he could have created an HSI, tokenized it, and then sold it to somebody else on the open market. Just find a buyer. So with OpenSea, you could actually reserve it for a specific buyer. Like I had the ETH address for the person that wanted to buy it. So I reserved it. And then you could also take the multiple HSIs and bundle them together and sell them as one package. The only thing I didn't like is that with OpenSea, when you do this, you have to give them permission for infinite spend limits with USDC, because that's how they get their 2.5% fee. Now, I didn't have a problem with this, but I would just suggest if you're going to do this, make sure you revoke permissions. After the transaction is complete. But it's so cool. Like I literally woke up from like a nap and I saw this fat stack of USDC just sitting in my wallet. OpenSea got their cut, middleman sucking dick basically, but nothing you could really do with that. And then once I understood the value proposition of PulseDoge, I injected a large percentage of that money. I won't disclose how much. I injected a large percentage into PulseDoge to give value to the asset because it's brand new. It's good for free claimers because guess what? Everyone got a bunch of free money. Hey, I pumped you guys to $5.04. You're welcome. That gave you more value to extract. And then everyone else that wants to hold it for USD price appreciation, then they can hold the asset and speculate on that asset for hopefully mad gains in the future. I'll be right back. I got to go pee.
And this is what Wendy's and I have talked about before with Hedron too. Like the encapsulated stakes and the HSIs, like it's really cool feature, and like it just never needed a token. Like you don't need it. Like the HexPay contract didn't have a token. Firebund's contract doesn't have a token. Like the token was never necessary. And then unfortunately, not only did they make a token, they gave it a massive dump of mineral with a 10x multiplier, and then forever having access to the money printer. you know, everyone that got that airdrop is forever going to be able to mint that, at least for the next, people talk like 1-2 years will be good. It's like, I have stakes going out well past multiple years, and like they're decent sized stakes that are going to mint me a ton of Hedron. So like, you're just going to see dumping pressure in Hedron's history. I just don't think that was a necessary feature. I think Yash talked about in the comments earlier, it should have been like maybe a one-time mint for Hex users, and then Hedron eventually would have been able to get up on its own legs and may have had some speculative stickiness. But like what Gunther just talked about with the HSIs, like there was no buy pressure whatsoever for Hedron in that mix. It was just strictly USDC, the middleman, and OpenSea got their cut. It's a really cool way to do OTC as long as you're willing to take that 2.5% cut. That's really awesome, and you don't affect the hex price or anything like that. But ultimately, Hedron gets left out of that mix, and nothing to pump the price of Hedron. So it just continues.
Or even just requiring people to use Hedron to purchase the the HSIs. Maybe not have the 2.5% fee. Just do it on the Hedron website and use Hedron. But yeah, it's like just dump-a-mentals, no pump-a-mentals. Supply is going to be going for a long time. So I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And we've been saying that regardless of, people telling us we're idiots in the comments and stuff. We've been saying that for a while, but yeah, hopefully some people listened.
Hey, by the way, to execute those the sale of those HSIs in a much more efficient way, I actually sold them at a 10% discount so that I'm helping that shark out, give them a better deal. They, of course, all of them had the 10x multiplier too, by the way, for Hedron.
There you go.
But it allowed me to sell them in a more efficient way, and then it gave me access to the capital quicker. So you should consider selling them at a discount if you really want to move them. You got to make the value proposition stronger for why they should buy it.
Yeah, because I mean they got years before they have any before they start seeing that capital. So
yeah, I've been basically calling it like it's essentially like an out of the money call option on Hex, and it's going to be out of the money for 7.5 years or so. So yeah, but yeah, they're absolutely cool. Genius design. It's awesome. Just didn't need a token.
Yeah, I think Alec did a great job overall. I mean, I think he should be thanked. He created something that makes it better for Hex, especially with over-the-counter sells and other options. I actually hope it survives. I really do. I hope it survives deep into the future. It's just it's I don't know. It kind of sucks. It sucks looking at the price chart and
Well, I wish he consulted some of us more before. Like, I mean, I love the free money, but man, like I don't know how you overlook that.
No, I mean, he reached out to some of us. I mean, I was one of the first people that he reached out to.
You're like 10x multiplier, access to it immediately.
No, I mean, he didn't really go into like the details per se, but like I'm sure he did reach out to some people, and it's hard. Some of these things are just experiments. You want to see how they work out, and there will obviously be things that burn the token. And as the lower the price goes, if you wanted to like maybe buy some of the auctioned stakes, well, you would be using up a lot more Hedron, and all that Hedron would get burned up. So that is good for like the supply decreases. It just might take a while for it to actually recover. You'd have to give it a lot of time.
It could, and I'll say this because someone asked. Yeah, it absolutely could recover, but you got to ask yourself every time you're doing an investment, what is the risk and the reward ratio, right? And I don't think it makes sense on Hedron ever. I think that even if you want to just like throw stuff into highly speculative, coins, there's better ones to do it with.
Yeah, because when it starts to recover, like what are large players in Hex going to do? They're like, oh, my Hedron's worth something again. Go mint some more coins and then just dump them on the market.
Yeah, especially if you get like another 10x like from here, right? Yeah. If it goes and retest the previous all-time high, you would just see another sell-off basically. And we're not trying to FUD the asset, but we're just trying to be truthful with the audience.
Tell you how it is.
Like these are just facts, So yeah.
Yeah, so the price recovery, I mean, I just left that up there. You guys spoke on it a bit. I mean, what is the only, let's see, what are the factors that could actually help Hedron out? Time, because, if these HSIs gain a footing, tokens are burned, hex price going up, that could pull Hedron along with it. So those are, I don't want
more
to call
more
them
than that,
complementals, but maybe some,
but even more than that, okay, so Hex going up, like Hex is also tied to like Pulse Dogecoin, right? So that pumps that. So you have to ask yourself, like, well, what else is it? And for me, and what me and Motley talked about, and especially with other people in the Hedron community, is like people were buying based on the speculation that people would take loans against their HSIs, and like that was the use case. And I mean, that never made sense to me. And like Motley has said before, I think that probably most of those, the ones that have loans on them and everything like that, the auctions, those are probably Alex or somebody that like highly supports Hedron. So just doesn't make sense in my opinion. But more power to everybody. I hope it moons if you're buying.
The only thing I really look at is like, what is the most efficient use of your capital? So let's take the present situation, right? Let's say you have $10,000 or 25,000 or whatever amount you have, it's just some arbitrary number. Where can you put that money now where you can have the maximum return on investment, let's say in the next 2 years?
Pulse Dogecoin. Let me do it for you, sir.
It's super inflating
Kidding,
supply.
guys. Don't clip that.
Or hard
They
cap
got you on video.
after what, 70 more days or something like that. So, or maybe even less than by now.
It's like 67, 68, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can get into that next for sure, because I see a lot of Pulse Doge comments in the chat. But I just, I want to, I support, I've said this before on this channel, I support pretty much anything that, promotes Hex or PulseChain. Guys at Maxi did an awesome job. Even Pulse Doge coin, what we'll talk about here shortly, who has triggered, other, again, named project, but who cares if the complementals are there and they're quite tasty. And I think hashtag mucho scarce, or much scarce, as Wendy said earlier today on Twitter. But let's get into Pulse Doge a little bit, because correct me if I'm wrong, Gunther, but I think I saw you on one of the streams say that Pulse Doge coin was one of the ones, or the one, that you mainly swapped a lot of Hedron for. Is that correct?
No.
No, you didn't.
So I mostly swap USDC for Pulse Doge because I sold those HSIs, right?
Okay.
So that's the majority of my position. I did swap some Hex for Pulse Doge, but it wasn't like my main entrance into. It was mostly USDC. Okay. There might have been a little bit of Hedron, maybe $3,000 worth or something. I forget. You guys supposedly know some of my wallets, so you can always check. Allegedly, they might belong to me or someone else, or a child, or an ex-wife, or I threw the seed words into a glass bottle and threw it in the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. Can never access.
Yeah. And
much confusion.
Mucho. Hashtag.
Exacto.
Yeah. So let's just, I guess, chat a little bit, Gunther, about why you are such a big fan of Pulse Doge coin, whatever we want to call it, PLSD. I'll pull up the chart here, which it made a new all-time high, which whoever that whale was who bought the 100 billion of Hedron, I scoped that wallet out. I'll actually pull that wallet up here in a second. That was the same wallet that pumped Pulse Doge to like I think he bought 20,000 at once, which wicked it up to a new all-time high, and we're back under, I think, $4 now. But much scarce. That's the selling feature of this, because really there could only be a few. Well, I'd say 5, 6, maybe 7 million of these things once the claim phase is done. Can you take me through your thesis behind why you're
sure,
so over the moon and wanting moon for Pulse Dogecoin?
Yeah, sure. So the max amount that you could mint is like 12 million and change on the ETH network. That's that's assuming that whoever bought that did not do that right, because it's low liquidity, so you don't want to just buy it in one order.
Yeah, it was 20,000 buy, like 20,000 Pulse Dogecoin just in one sweep.
Yeah, I probably would have bought like maybe more in batches, like maybe buy 2,000 Pulse Doge at a time or 1,000.
Agreed. I think that's a great amount. Just saying, not that I know. Or
sounds like you've tried it. you just showed your hand. Well played. Yeah, so the max amount is 12 million, but that's assuming that every single claimable address actually claims, and that also includes addresses that are HSIs. By the way, you could claim for an HSI, it's just you could never access the money because it exists in a contract that you don't have access to, right? So honestly, we've already seen about, I think the last time I looked, it was about 23% of addresses that could claim have claimed. And that's pretty close to what the addresses that claim for Hedron. So, and the claims are really drying up, actually. So I think we might see more. We might see some more claims, like if the price goes up to like crazy numbers.
Oh yeah, as the price goes up, I think we're going to see more. But that's, I guess, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but while it's top of mind, what do you? Because you are a huge proponent of this coin. So would it not serve you better to not chat about it for the next couple of months and then keep the supply low and then?
Well, so I get that. A lot of people are against freemiums. Yep. We can see how they put a lot of sell pressure on HEX, for example. However, you never know who's going to enter the space because of a free claim and then turns out to be like a major buyer. So, for example, I free claimed against 2 addresses and claimed 865 tokens. Well, after I looked into it and dug a little bit deeper, I ended up I started to buy it because I liked the bell curve distribution. I like how whales were not rewarded with a lot. I'm talking about so the highest reward went to dolphins, 900. Actually, I probably wouldn't have given dolphins so much, and squids. They're probably going to put a lot of sell pressure on the asset.
Shark bias.
No, but even the sharks too. I don't trust the sharks either with the 600 tokens. Actually, I would have probably given the whales the most because they're the least likely to dump. The ones that get 300 tokens, probably would have given them 900 because the whales don't need the money. But sharks on down, they're just all liabilities, right?
Yeah. While you're chatting here, I just highlighted that transaction of 19,300 Pulse Doge that was swapped for HEX. Come on, man. But anyway, go ahead.
But also, I'll say this about it. If you like about advertising it, before all the free claims are done, if you're accumulating it, you would want people to free claim it and dump it. See, remember this. So I've seen a lot of people that are talking shit about it, dumped it, and then they're saying, well, there's whales that hold it. Well, guess what? Every whale bought from a hexagon. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a stupid argument. And I even sold mine initially and bought higher because I realized I'm like, okay, this is low liquidity. We know the value of that with HEX. It's a meme coin. Meme coins are fun. I mean, I'm not saying throw tons of money into it. It's low liquidity, but I saw that the market cap is still very low. And so for a relative project that's not crazy successful, it could easily 10x. You could easily see, $20 to $50 a coin at the current supply. Obviously, if the coin supply doubles from here, then it's a different story. But all those things, and then also you're like you said, you're getting people into the coin and stuff, and people something that's going up. So if it's going up in a bear, that's people like to be distracted and stuff. And the benefit is, if people are really hurting, then cool, they can claim it and dump it and go on with their life, get HEX or whatever they need.
Yeah, I like it. Those are all solid points. Honestly, we encourage people to free claim it. You can use the money in a bear market. You're struggling, free claim it, sell it, whatever. You can also swap it for HEX. We've seen plenty of people do that. It's your keys, it's your coins, it's your money, it's your responsibility. You make the choices that you want to make. I think it's interesting to you have free claimers that come in, and sure, a lot of them will dump. But then you also have free claimers that come in and they're actually HEX sharks, and they start buying, and now they're Pulse Doge whales. One of the beautiful things about Pulse Doge is that it has centralized ownership like the HEX OA. And if I had to speculate and make an educated guess on what those whales will probably do,
We love speculation here.
I mean, we are in highly speculative assets. I would suggest that you probably wouldn't see any market sells from any top wallet that's a whale in Pulse Doge. You probably would see the extraction of value via over-the-counter trades with each other, and or like one-sided like LP positions after like 100x move or 1000x or whatever, some arbitrary, some major move basically. So if you have a very scarce asset, by the way, this is the first meme token with a scarce asset, and you have centralized ownership and you have low liquidity and you already have free marketing because of the word Pulse and because of the word Doge, then really all that you have to do is somehow draw in all the meme coin crowds, which no one else is doing. No one is going after the Doge community. No one else is going after the Shiba community or the Cheem community or whatever all those other names are. That's
not necessarily true. There's Pulse Shib, there's the other Pulse Doge, like that. They are. But what I do agree with what you're saying is meme coins. It's funny because we don't give them enough credit. But I know Wendy's and I have talked about this. Is meme coins are kind of the new generation's entry into crypto these days. It used to be Bitcoin in previous cycles, and now we're seeing that less and less. Right? It's the younger generations. They get into the meme coins first, and then they start falling down the rabbit hole. So I do think that meme coins, I think they're a lot more valuable than what they used to be and what we knew them for. Now they get a whole new audience into the ecosystem. So that's why I love seeing more and more meme coins coming over to PulseChain, because you get that audience, you get the new younger generation, at least get their feet wet when it comes to crypto and learning about this space and, finding their way through. So I enjoy it, but there's definitely Pulse Shib, the other Pulse Doge, lots of other meme coins coming over to PulseChain as well.
Hey, I want to answer that.
A lot, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, those are great points. Dylan made some comment about the meme coin dudes have left till next cycle. The price chart of Pulse Doge would totally disagree with that statement. It launched at $1, and today it went to 567. So that means it went up 5.67x in a global bear market in a sea of basically a bloodbath. So I don't even know what you're suggesting, but look at the price chart. It doesn't lie.
One thing I'll say is that your hypothesis for what whales could do is good, but there's a better one. And I'm not gonna spell it out, but I'll let everybody think about it. If you have targeted the Hexagon community, which are the largest PulseX holders, what would you do if you accumulated a lot of coin, maybe with PulseX delegating DAO votes? Just think about that for a second. But there's
you pretty much spelled it out, but that's about as close as you could get, not just writing it out for him.
You might as well just lay down your deck because we see all the cards.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I've also alluded to this before. What do you think? So we all know that with Pulse Doge, you get a duplicate copy on PulseChain when mainnet launches. So for the whales, they have the duplicate copy. But a lot of the Pulse Doge whales, I would imagine, sacrifice for Pulse and PulseX, and maybe they sacrifice big. So maybe Pulse and PulseX, let's just say maybe PulseX is overvalued. What if PulseX starts trading at 25 or 50 times your sac rate when you sacrifice at the flat part of the bonding curve? Maybe you might take some of those profits and inject that into Pulse Doge when all the people that got their free copies just dumped it on the market. Maybe whales are at the ready to buy it up. Maybe.
Well, I would say that they're probably just better off picking one, right? So just do the PRC 20 version, right? And just maybe even have a burn contract or something for the ERC, and then just vote for the liquidity with PRC and either PulseX or Pulse so that the liquidity is tied to, something else that's probably going to, go up 1,000x. And then you're going to have a lot of people, especially if the APY is high from having so many sharks that are whales in the coin, and these sharks have large PulseX votes. They could potentially vote the APY very high on Pulse Dogecoin, and then people will buy it to get the high APY with their PulseX and Pulse. That's the smart move. I think like having the two coins, you're splitting buying pressure. It doesn't make sense in my opinion.
Are you talking about if you bridge over Pulse Doge from ETH and then you get the incentive token? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about something different.
I'm saying like, okay, so it's on ETH, right? So there's going to be the copy contract and everything over. I'm saying forget the ETH version. Now the copy that you got for free, tie that liquidity to Pulse or PulseX, and then use your DAO votes to give it high APY. So everybody starts buying Pulse Doge coin and then pairs it with Pulse and PulseX. That's kind of what I would like. That would be a best case scenario for it. The liquidity would go up. There would probably be a lot more holders. There'd be people outside the community that are like, oh wow, I can get 20 or 40% APY with my PulseX and Pulse Doge coin. Like, that would attract people to it, even just for the incentive APY.
I mean, I would imagine it's will probably end up. This is not suggesting what will happen, but what could happen is maybe Pulse Doge is bonded together to the asset that is at the lowest point. So for example, let's suppose PulseX crashes. I'm not saying it will, but let's say PulseX crashes maybe 80 or 90%. That would be the perfect time to bond Pulse Doge to PulseX, because then PulseX will literally just drag the price of Pulse Doge up. So you get people that are buying Pulse Doge. And I think that's what you're saying, right? You capture all that
exactly
price appreciation. Yep.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yep. So that's what I would like to see happen, because if you have both, so if you have Pulse Dogecoin, the P version and then the E version tied together, that's not as good as you just say, okay, community, we're moving over to Pulse, for the cheap transactions and everything like that. And forget the Ethereum version. So then everybody buys the one token, and then you try, don't split buy pressure. Yeah, to me that's the smartest thing. But
yeah, I like it. Hey, also somebody made a comment. Dylan again doesn't make very intelligent comments, but he made what was the last one he said?
Of you painting the chart.
Yeah. How do you know? Have you looked at the top wallets? How do you know who owns them? Maybe there's several whales. Maybe there's no one knows. You can speculate all day, but if you can't prove it, then it's just meaningless.
Yeah. And the guy that painted that giant green wick to the sky today was very, very, very early in HEX. He's got over 100 million HEX staked.
Well,
go ahead.
People don't understand painting charts. I've done it myself, and I helped pump a coin that was very low cents up to multiple dollars. So you can do that, and it can be very, very beneficial for communities. You know what I mean? It's oh, okay, well, don't you hate on somebody for pumping the chart, but if the God Whale buys, right, and paints the HEX chart, then everyone's going to be happy. So don't be a hypocrite. Everybody likes to see a chart painted green if you're holding it. But if you're not holding it, then it's painful and you start hating on it. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I actually where's the thank you? Injecting hundreds of thousands of dollars into the asset to give it value, so that people like you can take the free claim and extract more value, or you can buy it and make more money. Hello. Do you even? The only people who would be mad
the only people who would be mad are the people who sold. So.
Yeah,
I sold mine. Thank you.
In that giant wick there.
No, I sold mine earlier.
He sold early. That's why he's a little salty.
No, I'm not salty at all. I love the free money and moved along.
Would you consider getting back in, Motley, like Wendy's did?
No.
I'm gonna make a prediction. You're gonna come back in. You're gonna come back in the price
because this is the thing. Is it'll probably yes, it's really easy to pump this, right? So we know there's some large HEX sharks in here. There's very low liquidity. There's low supply. It's very easy to pump this. I'm sure it'll do multiple X's, but
2 million HEX did that. So
Yeah, and guys, I could do that if I want to. Do I want to go with my hex? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'll enjoy watching it from the sideline. And I mean, like I was messing around with liquidity now. I was just looking at what buys and stuff could do. So like anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000 right now, your slippage is anywhere from like 2.5 upwards of like 9%. So I don't have much interest in it. It's just a little too illiquid. That might change. I hope they bring a lot of people over to PulseChain, but it just doesn't interest me enough at this point. Love the free money.
The initial liquidity though was like what 19,000 is like from what I remember.
50,000.
It was 50,000, and well, I look at a lot of coins, sir. So 50,000, and it's 250,000 now or so.
Yeah, there's bigger players in for sure.
Yeah, so that's like literally what's happened with most meme coins. But like I said, if you're a shark or if you have like a ton of, I think like the thing that scares people is like, oh, okay, well, there's guys that have hundreds of thousands, they could wreck the chart, but that's not in their best interest. Like I said, if they really wanted to be able to like extract value, they would do what I said before.
This is what I like all those points, and this is why I invested into fiat, because it's a lot of the similar points, a very low supply, low equity round for investing. I'm actually heavily involved in that, just so you guys know. So obviously I have bias in it, but it's the same kind of thing, except it has
with a PH.
With a PH. But it actually has utility, potential passive income. If the platform's successful, along other people will do really well. And the way they staged their sacrifice phase, it was mainly just a lot of large HEX players that knew about it early on and got in and got that low equity evaluation. And most of us don't have a need to sell. Like I don't need the money. I don't need to sell. So just like these meme coins, you have a really good entry and a lot of upside as far as price appreciation goes. But it also has more staying power than say like Pulse Dogecoin, where I can actually earn some yield, earn some fees.
Well, on this
of this fork of Aave. So for me, it has a lot more staying power than these meme coins, because yes, they're fun, but they require a lot of work. They require a lot of key players continuing to paint the chart, to post the memes, to keep the narrative and story going. I mean, that's the point of a meme coin. I do like actually something like fiat, where it's a little bit more use case, has a little bit more staying power. That just appeals to me more than what this would. But they both have their merits. But for a lot of the reasons that Gunther's saying he likes Pulse Dogecoin so much, it was the same for me with fiat. It just had a couple other levels to it.
I mean, low liquidity at the start is awesome for a project. If you're getting in, I mean, it just is.
Yeah, think about HEX in the early days, right? The liquidity was like ultra low, and after that 98% crash, HEX went up 129 times in value in like, I forget what it was, like 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months, or whatever it was.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, it was a very short period of time. And you have a similar setup here where the liquidity is ultra low. If you want 100x the price, you could do so basically by multiplying the liquidity by the square root of 100, which is 10. So if the liquidity is roughly, I haven't checked what it is, 230,000 or whatever. So this isn't the full liquidity, because this is just the Pulse Doge USDC pair, but it says 230,000. So whatever the liquidity is also with the Pulse Doge HEX pair, if you sum those up, multiply by 10, that's basically the amount of money that you need to move the price up 100x. That's not a lot of money, especially with big players. Obviously, you wouldn't do so in one buy, right? Because you would eat slippage and you would move the price up against yourself. But you could ratchet the price up slowly, and really, this thing could really. I don't think it's hard for it to do 100x. Is what I'm saying. It's not. It's just math. It's not rocket science. It's not NASA. It's just.
I mean, it's in the realm of possibility, but of course, again, you gotta be careful. Don't bet the farm on a meme coin.
Don't let Gunther pump you guys up too much.
I am a moon boy, but I can also be. But I will also say this: every single investment carries risk. Any asset can go to $0. Like he said, never bet the farm. Never be the house guy. That guy bet the house for HEX. How's he doing? How's he doing with that? Like, never. It's not smart. Like, don't take out leverage. Don't take out loans to invest. Like, that's a leverage play. Those are like high risk plays. Like, I would just say, like, invest what you can afford to hold for maybe 5 or 10 years, right? Or 2 years at least.
Well, even like a $200 buy, if it 100x is that's pretty good. That's pretty good for most people. Whereas if you lose 200, you lose 200. It's like going to the casino. So yeah, if you treat it like that, then awesome. You know, just
And I mean,
remember it's a meme coin. And I was always like very, very against meme coins. And I only came around this cycle because literally I probably got in like the range of, I don't know, probably like 20 to 40 messages from people just saying like, hey, I know you're into crypto. Like, should I get SHIB? Should I get Doge? Should I get SHIB? Should I get Doge? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, where are they all seeing this from? Like, and they're not, it was never about any other coin other than SHIB or Doge. And so I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then of course, like, you know, Floki had its run up and everything. And I mean, Doge has been pumping since what, like 2014, 2015. So, I mean, every cycle it runs up, it gets murdered and runs up again. So yeah, I mean,
well,
now I'm kind of a believer.
It brings up a good point too, like with where we're kind of going, like we're in this bear market and potentially it's going to get a lot worse from here. Like this is where you should start looking at buying and DCAing throughout these bear markets, because I mean, this is where you maximize your returns, right? When all this stuff goes 80, 95% down, if you find that stuff that comes back next cycle, that's where you generate all your wealth. So yes, meme coins are funny, but like Wendy's was just saying with Dogecoin, it's proven itself to almost be a leading indicator of every bull run before Bitcoin goes off. Doge always makes a reappearance and makes a killing. So like we've talked about before, like maybe we scoop up a bag of Doge for, you know, you throw a couple grand into Doge at the bottom of the bear. Like that's a lot of money once the bull market, the next cycle kicks off. So it's the same thing. It's finding those assets that are going to be here for the long term that can survive cycles and become a lasting coin in the space. And like HEX is going to be one of those coins. That's why we're all heavily invested in it. And that's why like you have to kind of flip that switch in your mind that these bear markets, yes, they're painful, but if you can see them as a buying opportunity, if you can see the fact that you found the right asset to invest in, like you should be looking at the upside, because the upside of this, like I just have like money signs in my eyes right now as like the HEX price just continues to go down. It's just like it's an amazing opportunity to just continue buying. But be honest with yourself. Can you afford it? Don't take out loans. Don't sell the farm. But you know, take advantage of the opportunities as well, because otherwise you'll be bitching and moaning on the way back up.
Hey,
yeah, and like I've said, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. So every minute Doge prints, I believe 10,000 tokens.
A lot, yeah.
And if you were to paint the price of Doge like just sideways, you'd probably have to inject, I forget the math, but somewhere around $450 million just to paint Doge sideways. Well, that's a very inefficient use of capital. Pulse Doge is actually just a better form of Doge. It solved all the problems that Doge has, just like HEX solved all the problems that Bitcoin had. So we have a scarce asset. We have zero inflation. We have centralized ownership with benevolent whales that act like HEXOA. I mean, it could really do well. And we got all the free marketing for Doge and all the other meme coins. We really just need to outreach those other communities and just show them and demonstrate that their money will be treated better in this market. Why don't you come over to the better form of Doge that goes up more and dips less? The Doge that goes up in a bear market, the Doge that treats your money well. I think that's a very solid like narrative that people would actually buy into.
You're such a kind Pulse Dogecoin whale, Gunther. I love it.
Hey, from the rugger of Hedron to the magic carpet ride. Come
the
join
magic
us.
carpet ride.
Join us on the magic carpet ride. Is the rug's been sitting in the Arabian sands. It's like we're just getting wrecked and just dumped on. Come back on the magic carpet ride. We will take you to glory. We will take you to heavens.
Again, guys, you know, at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our investment decisions. So, you know, Gunther praises Pulse Dogecoin. I like HEX. Everyone's responsible for their own decisions. So, you know, take everything we all say with a grain of salt and make your own decision. That way, at the end of the day, you don't have anyone to blame, right? It's like, well, Gunther told me it was going to $1 million, and then Pulse Dogecoin dies forever. Like you gotta take as much information and knowledge as you can from as many individuals and sources and make your own decisions.
Hey, that's a great point. Hey, can I tell people, don't buy Pulse Doge?
There you go.
It's the rags to riches.
And watch
it, but then they'll come back and be like, "See, I missed millions of dollars because you told me not to buy it."
Told not to.
I don't want to see the slip. I don't want to see the slippage of $1 million on Pulse Doge right now, sir. Let's see. Just out of curiosity, slippage on $1 million of Pulse, right?
Oh, boy.
No, bro, like you can only buy like 1,000.
88%, guys. Be careful. Don't be. It's not quite there yet. Let it get some legs.
Hey, can I also give a tip to the buyers that are interested in looking to come in a very smart and efficient way without eating slippage and without driving the price up against themselves?
Yes.
All right, thanks. All right, so create a buy wall, right? So a lot of people don't understand this, but you could use this for any asset. You could use it for HEX or for other things, right? If you want to enter into Pulse Doge with a sizable amount of money, or even with a small amount, it also works. But it makes more sense for like larger amounts of money. Don't just buy $50,000 worth, eat max slippage, and drive the price up against yourself, and then it just gets sold down. That is not smart. Go on to Uniswap V3. Let's say you have USDC, right? You got $50,000 of USDC, just an example. Create a unique LP position with the USDC Pulse Doge pair. Add your $50,000 of USDC. Don't add any Pulse Doge. This is one-sided liquidity. And you set the price range. Let's say your price range, let's say the price right now is like $4, right? But you think sellers are going to come out to play. You think the price will like maybe drop down to like $3.80. Well, you could set a tight buy wall between $3.80 and $4. And when the price moves down into that range, then you're earning fees. People are trading within your unique LP position. They take your USDC and leave behind Pulse Doge. So if the price goes all the way down to $3.80 and it's basically eaten through your buy wall, well, you simply exit your liquidity position with fees. You saved on ETH gas fees, and you now have a 100% Pulse Doge position without moving the price up against yourself and without eating slippage. This is how you buy. This is also how you sell too. Just the opposite.
And that was Gunther. There you go. See, you got to explain everything that you went to. Brazology has asked a couple of questions.
Yes, I love the meme. Thank you.
Yes,
I love it.
He was looking for, I guess, praise on the old meme there.
The meme was great. I love it. Keep the memes coming.
Top. So there you go. It was awesome.
That's actually clever. Top Gunther.
And your wingmen are dogs. So
hell yeah. Love it.
I'm actually going to see that tomorrow. So any reviews of Top Gun in chat, just say good or bad. I think I've heard nothing but good. Pretty much because I think it's I've heard it's non-woke, pro-American, and unapologetically so. And I think that's what cinema has been lacking. And for that, I'll actually go and spend my money on such things. So, yeah. You seen the movie yet, Gunther? Your own movie that you're apparently starring in?
I have seen Top Gun, and I really like the movie.
The second one?
No, only the first.
Oh, okay. Maverick, I guess. Top Gun Maverick. But yeah. +1. All right.
It's going to be hard to compete with the first one.
Yeah, I'm actually going to watch that tomorrow before I go see the new one, just to get back into the groove. So, yeah, here, if your theater has an excellent surround system, definitely go, because it's not just watching movies.
Is the soundtrack as good as the first one?
It's an experience. I don't know. It's got like Lady Gaga, on there, but I'm not judging.
That's an interesting soundtrack for Top Gun.
The song's pretty cool, but I don't know, where it is. It can't beat like Kenny Loggins and Take My Breath Away and all those tracks on the first one.
Classics.
Yeah.
We have dinner reservations in like 5 to 8 minutes, just so you know, Cabana. So we'll be deucing out.
All good. Well, any matters that you guys wanted to chat up? I have some HEX questions for Gunther before we go, but anything.
Fire away to Gunther.
Enjoy.
Well, I mean, before you and Wendy's have reservations.
T.me/Legion BC News Telegram. Follow Motley Investor and 4Tendies everywhere.
Any topics, sir? That's what I was
no show.
PulseChain,
Okay. No, we're working on some stuff in the behind the scenes that'll be coming out soon. So just stay open for that. I don't topic wise,
man,
like I mean,
it's been rough. It's been real rough too, by the way. Jesus.
What's it? Yeah. I tried to tell
the
you.
bloopers. My God.
Yeah. But I don't know what is new. I mean, we're just kind of waiting on PulseChain. I honestly don't think there's that much new out there these days.
Yeah.
While we
I
wait.
mean, speculation dates are all over the place. I've seen July to September. I guess how's this? How's this? I think the Germans are doing their Pulse Million Pulse tour that starts in July.
It was supposed to if it launched. If it hadn't launched, they
moved it back.
Moving it back. Well, that's what they've said in the past. I don't know if they've updated since, but what they told me was, hey, we're planning on starting from this date, but if it didn't launch by then, they were going to move it back. I don't know if they're sticking with that date now or if they're moving on. I don't know. But last I heard, if it hadn't launched yet, they were going to start pushing the dates back. But I don't know if they did or not.
Quick yes or no. Will it launch by PulseCon?
I hope so.
Oh, same. Yeah.
For their sake, I hope so. Because I know they put a lot of work into money.
But
yeah,
I've been wrong every other time, so who knows?
So
it could be the reverse indicator.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, Richard is not going to release it either before it's ready or when he wants to, whatever it is.
That's not
in regards to PulseCon, right? Like it is what it is.
Oh yeah.
We think a lot of it has to do with bear timing.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not Richard. I'm not one of his devs. Neither are you.
I didn't say does it, but
yeah, no idea.
This is what I was saying on this is what I was saying on Motley or on Maddie's stream is that like we're already in the bear market and like look at HEX's price performance, which was 1 year after the bottom. I think slightly before the bottom is actually better. Like most people would agree that we're in a bear. I think like we're close enough now. So I think that genuinely he's going to launch it whenever it's ready.
Well, that goes to a good point you made before in the past too, right? Like the 10,000X came after HEX did like a 90-something% dip. Like we wouldn't have gone that 10,000X without that hard dip initially in the beginning. So it could be the same thing he wants for PulseChain and PulseX. You get that large initial dip from the start, and then the chart looks absolutely amazing going forward, and you can claim 100X, 1,000X, etc.
Don't remind me about the 98% dip.
Hey, man, that was one hell of a buying opportunity back in the day. So, again,
that's so wrecked.
One way to look at it.
That was fun. What's
that? Are we talking HEX?
I rarely drink, but tonight I'll drink a beer for you guys.
Cheers. I'm out.
But when I do,
Corona.
I was waiting for the Dos Equis, but yeah, Corona's wonderful as well.
Gluten-free.
Is it?
Yeah.
No. See, learn something every day.
I'm pretty sure it is. Fact check me though, just in case I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure the chat will have no problem fact checking you, Gunther. So, Hexcat, I'm with Wendy's. If it's ready, release the hounds. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just ready and waiting for it. I think.
Bitcoin though is probably going to crash though, no? To like, it's got to do its 85% retracement. So maybe, and then that will pull Ethereum down and pull all the other coins down. So maybe Richard's waiting for the bottom of Bitcoin. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and he's trolling it hard within the past 2 hours. Like he's just going after Bitcoin.
Let June, July come around. A couple more rate hikes. See how the markets take it. Crypto and stocks and everything.
And watches.
Yeah, he called the top on that too, right?
Bro, I don't know if we're ever going to buy the watches we want because it's just too much opportunity cost.
I know.
Someday, maybe someday.
Yeah, I'll just borrow yours occasionally. That's nice enough.
Or just don't wear a watch. Use your phone for the time.
We like our watches, sir.
Yeah.
I guess that's an interesting little topic there is the opportunity cost. And somebody asked me last night if I was selling HEX. I'm like, no, this is the time not to sell.
Yeah, it's a buyer's market now, guys.
Right. Yeah. And so
it's
people
don't do
what
that.
Are you doing? What are you
the
doing?
herd goes, yeah, you got to go against the herd. So whatever your emotions are, you got to do the opposite. So if you're like, oh God, I want to sell, it's going to go
This
lower.
hurts.
That's probably when you need to be buying. Yeah.
Yeah. If you do have, some stakes and maybe you have taken some off, what stops you from putting some out to where you think the bull could have already resumed? And perhaps you can, take more off at a higher price then. So as a staker, it's not like, I've said this before, it's not like once your stake's over, it's like, oh, that's it. You have that luxury, that option to stake it out. And even, for further than your original stake was, or, perhaps some of these rolling guys, just waiting on a certain opportunity, perhaps another sacrifice for a wallet. That's another theory out there too, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, shoot, if the market continues to just get worse and worse, those big rolling shark stakes might decide to start going into more cash, more USDC, Tether, DAI, what have you. And I mean, that's cool. Like, I'm okay for sharks to get shaken out this cycle. Like, I know Wendy's has talked about it again too. We lose like some of those, like maybe like 4 to 7 of those big sharks with rolling stakes, and they lose a good chunk of their position. I'm okay with that.
If we lost 7, I'd be so bullish.
7?
If we lost 7, I'd be ridiculously bullish. Initially, I was just calling for 4. We already lost 1 last I checked. So, but yeah, I think some of them just need to capitulate a little bit.
I was hoping we'd lose like really 50% of the sharks.
That would be amazing, bro. If we lose 50% of the sharks,
where are we at now? Like 90 some, I think. Is that right?
I haven't looked in a while.
Yeah,
hey, Brizology, you're right, bro. I was wrong. It has gluten. I'm an idiot. Can I retract? Can I go back in time? I don't know why I thought it was gluten-free. I don't know why I thought that.
Speaking of Briz, I hope you have the PulseChain cocktail recipe ready to go, because you did the HEX cocktail, I guess, last year. So whenever Pulse launches, I'm going to have you come on the show and teach us how to make that beverage. But yeah, the Hexagon Sunrise.
Brizology, mixology?
Yes, it was actually
pretty much
the show. And right on cue, an alert: 30 billion Hedron sells for a little under 16 grand. So just saw those alerts pop up in the Twitter. Yeah. So
show your hands, Gunther. Show your hands.
It's like, yeah.
There's no ledger device.
Step away from the computer.
How terrible would that be if I was like selling Hedron during this time?
Like, wait, how long ago did you just come back from the bathroom? The bot does have a delay, I think. So.
Hey, one thing I'll say too is like it's really easy to find a villain in a bear market.
Oh, isn't it though?
Like you just instantly start blaming everyone else. But honestly, like that's just one thing that kind of like agitated me. It's like I take full responsibility for any decisions that I make. And Motley said this earlier. Any decisions that I make, whether they're good or bad, I am fully responsible for them. It's my keys. It's my coins. It's my money. It's my decisions, my choices, whatever. So I would just like to see other people do the same. I just expect the same because that's what I expect of myself. I don't sit there and blame Emery T for dumping on my head. I don't sit there and blame D01 for dumping on my head or Steph for dumping on my head or anyone else. Like I decided to invest in HEX. If the price gets wrecked, I'm responsible for that decision. These are free open markets. So everyone just needs to make sure they take agency and accountability for the decisions that they make in these markets. And I'm telling you, about 99% of people that participate in these markets do not understand what they're doing. They do not understand the markets that they're participating in. Cue up the song, but with Richard Hart about "Shut the fuck up" if you don't understand the markets you're participating in.
Truth.
The SEC says the same thing. Don't invest in something you don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see that cringe video that they made about investing in the meme? I guess investments. It was
no.
The SEC actually made a video about investing in memes.
Yes.
Like meme coins in particular, I'm guessing, or
it is total cringe. I did not.
You need to pull that up.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have that, sir.
Yeah, well, I didn't think we were going to talk about that, but yeah, you guys go ahead and talk about something for a second. I'll try to.
HEX happy hour.
Was it like a warning, like a PSA? Public.
Oh, it was like some kind of game show weirdness. It was like a meme.
They're trying to be fun and cheeky, probably, but not at all.
We're so hip. We're so hip.
We know what's going on.
Much regulation. Such wow.
Invest in our stocks. Fuck the memes.
God,
Hey, can we talk about how the Mango Junkie and also Dylan are like perpetually living in the salt mines? You guys, man, you guys just mining away every day. So salty. Please stop being so salty. Jesus, like Morton Salt over here. Sorry, was that too much?
Let me see if I can bring up Investomania.
Just whining and crying. Like, man up.
And here we go with Investomania.
They call?
Come back, Brad. It's your investment.
I'll take meme stocks. Invest.
Ouch. You're
Lol.
I'm going to do some research first.
well played, Julie. Well played.
You can do research. Investing is not a game. Always do your research before making an investment decision. Learn more at investor.gov. Before you invest, investor.gov.
I love it. A nice little PSA.
Yep. All right, guys. We're out. We're going to dinner. You guys have a good Friday. Thanks for having us on, Cabana.
Absolutely, there.
Till next
Co-host
time.
and
Yep.
Wendy's, who's been here a lot
still,
too. Enjoy.
Still
what are y'all
reigning,
eating?
trivia champion. Well, actually,
what's the
some
name of
shit
the
that's
place
not
we're
even
going?
on the menu. That's what we're getting. That shit that ain't even on the menu.
Because we know the chef.
There you go.
Exactly,
Wendy's it is.
yeah.
Wendy's it is.
It's
All
like it's basically like a steak, kind of like Milanese. Delicious.
But it's not how you would think. It's interesting.
All right.
Oh, it's really good.
We'll upload pictures later.
Excellent. Stay tuned to Twitter.
Yep. Later,
Yep.
guys.
See you guys.
Peace.
Here, guys, enjoy the dinner.
All right, man. Me and you, I figure I wouldn't let you leave here because I guess the first time we ever chatted was in regards to the OA audit that you had done, and I'd always been curious as to something like that, and you were the first one to come up with something like that. So have you even peered into it? I know you mentioned the supply of liquid, maybe just strictly liquid. Was it like an insane percentage held by the OA that you think is like 90-some%? Was that it?
Yeah, I actually ran the numbers today. I just don't share it publicly anymore. I think
awesome. Well, feel free to share whatever you want to share, because that stuff intrigues me like no other. Yeah,
I can just give you just like maybe just some like an overview of maybe some percentages without like going into details.
Yeah,
I just don't want the public to have spreadsheets of addresses that maybe enemies could use to hurt HEX, or maybe that plebs would just distort and manipulate and try to twist into some false narrative that only hurts HEX.
Makes sense.
So I also want privacy too for whoever owns those addresses. I don't want the whole world to like be peering into those wallets. I respect whichever owner or owners own those addresses deeply. And I would want them to have just that privacy. I think privacy is really important. I know what it feels like to be like doxxed, for example, and then spread your address is spread to like 60,000 different people. By the way, that's the only reason why I did the signed statements. Or did I do the signed statements?
Ooh.
Was that somebody else pretending to be me? Was that a family member? Was that an ex-girlfriend?
Crazy ex-girlfriend.
Who knows? Who knows who did those signed statements? But yeah, I could just speak in general terms. So, for example, I have that the OA entity or entities owns about 96.95%, so almost 97% of all liquid HEX in circulation.
Wow.
So about 3% is circulating. But the unfortunate thing about the 3%, it sounds like a small amount, but in terms of actual HEX, it turns out it's a pretty large number.
Billions.
Yeah, we're talking about billions. We're talking about roughly
probably 20?
17.7 billion, basically.
Yeah. All right.
I updated the numbers today, so that's pretty accurate. So that's kind of a lot if you think about it. Now, is everyone
holding liquid hex. Are they a dumper? No. We're just saying like that's the maximum possible amount that's floating around that could actually be dumped. So yeah. You want some of the other numbers, like some of the percentages, or
yes, throw some out there.
Yeah. So let me just give some key percentages. So for example, user staked hex is at about 74.54%. So they're basically keeping about 25% in circulation. So that's actually really good. So 3/4 of the available hex that users control is staked. That means hex is actually working as it should, or as it was designed. So that's pretty good. What else? Let's see if there's anything else that's important.
I'll say while you're looking that up, I mean, one of the things I always like to look up was on apex.win/charts. I'm a little sad right now, I guess, because it looks like the website changed a couple days ago. So they had at the bottom, okay, now they're bringing some of it back, but I'll try to bring this up in real time here. But I do like, I'm just, it takes me just, it's my personality, but it just takes me a while to embrace change to something. It's my reflex to hate change when it comes to technology, or like a screen or something like that, where it's like, okay, I'm used to seeing this here. I like this here. But I'll work on bringing that up while you go ahead and maybe rattle off some more metrics there.
0x Brendan, it's a bear market, bro. We pinch pennies where we can. No haircut, $15 t-shirt from Target, $20 pair of jeans, ramen noodles, maybe a Corona beer.
That has gluten.
Yeah. Man, this guy in this chat, what's this guy's name? This guy Dylan, man, this guy's so salty. It's just negative comments one after the next.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Well, here's the Apex. So what's cool is, what I really like is they now have a PulseChain section for, I guess, when Hex on PulseChain launches, it has its own set of metrics, which is really cool, and then the overlay on the actual chart. So it appears to be clearly in experimental mode, but I do like that they have, a lot of the figures. That Hex price though, oh my gosh, like close to $5. Imagine. Yeah. But I do like these graphs. Let's see. Okay, so the stuff that I like is still here. So they still have the staking graphs, which that's one of the major things I always look at. So we're closing in. We're almost at 96,000 hex stakers, closing in on 100,000. That's going to be awesome when we get there. They've added a few more metrics and overlays for PulseChain, just obviously testing it out. So taking me a little bit to get used to. I haven't found, maybe somebody in chat could tell me where the liquidity was, because I love having like the main stats like right up top in your face before you have to go looking for anything. So they had I guess the liquidity pools. Okay, there it is. I'm looking right at it. 126 million in Uniswap pools. PulseX. Oh, cool. Duh. So it has the Uniswap for Ethereum, and then it's got the PulseX pools for PulseChain. Awesome. So 27 million hex, hardly any hex in that testnet scenario. So cool stuff. I'm looking forward to checking out what they have in the works in the final iteration of it, because this is one of my favorite sites, apex.win/charts for you guys out there. So anyway, and I don't know anybody there. I just really like that site, and there's plenty of other great hex sites. I know you put that in the chat, like Hex Daily Stats and a bunch of others. So.
Also, stakehex.today. It's a great site. Just plug in
stakehex.today.
All your addresses, and boom, instantly you can see all your stakes, and you can check anyone's wallet that way too. Great sites.
Yeah, man.
Hey, thanks, Mango Junkie, for that. I appreciate that.
What was that? Did I miss it?
He said, no, you're a great Mexican. I'll give you that.
Okay.
You get over the pain. I know, guys. I know it's painful. Listen, people dumped on my head all day in Hex. I didn't want them to dump on me 93% down. I mean, I get it. I get the pain. I understand.
Yeah. And there are wallets out there that, of known addresses of, a large player or two that, you know, has dumped. And I said this before, I think it was on like my last little walk and talk kind of thing. It's like, you know, everybody, it's easy to point fingers in a bear. And, you know, the first people who get it are the ones on Twitter or social media. And it's like, oh, well, you have a handbag, or you got new shoes, or yeah, it's like those guys likely aren't really hurting the price, you know, too much if that's what they're getting. Now, some other guys out there are, you know, perhaps like $300,000 cars and jets and mansions. I mean, if you want to, you know, complain about something, maybe turn your attention towards those.
Yeah.
Either way, you know, it's their money, but I'm just saying, like, the direction of hate, it's just like the easiest target. So you see somebody on Twitter and it's just like rage, you got a bag, you ruined the hex price to get that bag. It's like,
you know, they also, it's also such a warped view, because like as early investors, you put up significant capital into something while everyone scam labeled it and hated on it and threw it away like a piece of trash. And I mean, who saw the value in hex when it was worth 0.0000? That's 4 leading zeros, 56, 55, and was still injecting money into that. And then you guys were out doing live streams, and people were in chats like helping people for free, giving away hundreds and thousands of hours like for free to help people. We helped build value into hex. And so then if people are cashing out, maybe those guys deserve it. Okay, sure, they're not making the best decision and it hurts other people's wallets. We get it. But you want them out, right? You don't want them dumping at $1 or $10 or $50 hex, right? You want them dumping now. You want them dumping at low prices so they extract less value from the system. So instead of just projecting saltiness and jealousy and hatred onto those people, it's fine. Just be happy for them. They're spending their money how they like, and then your turn will come if you spend enough time in the market.
Yeah, Yashdeep is lower prices gives people smaller bags opportunity. Yeah, and there's a phrase in traditional markets, it's like know your fellow shareholder. Well, in crypto, like you kind of know like way better your class of fellow token holders, because a lot of them are streaming or in public. A lot of the bigger players are well known. And I believe it was our last stream on this show that you were on, Gunther, that, you know, you were like, I want whoever is weak out. And I'm with you, because I mean, and we were probably multiples higher. I think we were like maybe 15, maybe 20 cents. And, you know, at least it was above a dime. And I was like, I'm with you on that, because we need to kind of like cleanse the class here a little bit, and, you know, get these weekends out. It sucks. It absolutely sucks.
Even if it takes 2 to 3 years. I'm not saying that it will. I'm just saying, even if it does, worst case scenario, it takes, let's say we don't return to 51 cents until like September of 2024 or something. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying worst case scenario, it takes 2 to 3 years to get all these guys out. You're going to forget all of that pain and misery and sorrow when the price retests that and then goes and forms a new all-time high and goes on some like 3-year consecutive mega bull run, just like Bitcoin did. It's the same thing. Bitcoin had major crashes like this. So did Ethereum, and so did other assets. So like, just, it's one of those times where I think just close the price chart. If the price chart is this ugly and this painful, close the price chart. We could all probably do well to like eat healthy, and at least I'm speaking for myself, eat healthy and try to like get out and go exercise. Maybe put a small amount of your money into something else where you have green candles. That might be a good play. But just don't sit there and hate on people. Like, don't hate on Richard. Richard's not selling hex. I monitor a lot of addresses, and no one knows which addresses he owns or controls. But we could speculate and conjecture maybe on some addresses that he might own or control, and they're not selling hex from the inception. Richard has a lot of money. He could sell all the shit coins that were sacrificed, for example. Right? Or he could sell Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of these other assets.
Yeah, those SAC wallets are, you know, nothing to be messed with either. MJ42, how has the HEX daily payout been with all the dumping? It's up steady now. It used to be 5.9, then close to 6, and now we're 6.1 daily or more. I mean, depends on emergency end stakes, but I mean, some days you could see 6.2, 6.3. So the payout has actually increased, I'd say, over the last couple months. What else? Salmon 20. Why do RH flex like an idiot in this time? Well, I'm fine with him flexing personally. I'll let Gunther touch on this if he wants, but I'm perfectly fine with it because he's the reason we got here, and he designed the thing, he founded the thing, and that's what he does. That's the outreach right now. What's he going to do right now? Like, just do a live stream, like, just answer the same questions over and over and over. We're kind of just like wait on PulseChain mode, and I'm fine with him flexing. And really, Hexkins who have a car or clothes or bag or whatever, I don't care if they flex either. Now, it's not the same effect as the founder doing it, so I don't really care if Hexkin A123 on Twitter has a handbag and takes a picture of it, or Hex 456 shows off their black Amex. Who cares? That's like small PP stuff, not big PP there. That's why I said that. But anyway, it's like, why? If you want to do it, but RH flexing, I have zero issue with it at all.
Yeah, I don't honestly, I don't care. I mean, Richard Hart lives rent free in the minds of many.
Yes.
Thanks, Battery 79, for that nice comment. I live rent free in the minds of many. D01 lives rent free in the minds of many. Not just rent free, but collecting dividends in people's minds. Guys, we're not important. Just play your own game. Everyone is playing their own game. It's like a game of chess, right? Everyone just do your own thing. Or like when you run a race, right? I used to run. I ran an ultra marathon when I was younger. It was a long ass race. It took me like,
was that like 50?
It was a 50K.
Yeah.
Extreme pain. I made the mistake of wearing like basketball shorts and a t-shirt, and did not
got the little chafe going on.
Yeah, I did not put band-aids on my nipples. So when I took a shower, like my nipples were like bleeding. I was in pain, but I finished the race. I finished the fucking race because I ran my own race. Like, I didn't care about all the people in the end that were passing me. It didn't matter. It was just me running my own private race. And I think everyone should do with that with their wallets. Don't make decisions based on like what we tell you or what we think you should do. I don't think you should ever do that. I think you should always make, and I think people will do this anyway, but always make decisions that are in the best interest of your own wallet. And I don't mean like try to maliciously or evil or hurt people in a harmful way. I'm not talking about that, because you have to think about optics, and especially if you're like a larger player. But I think in general, just play your own game, run your own race. And I think in the end, you'll probably be much happier that way, instead of just hating on everyone else and just crucifying them like Jesus on upside down on a Roman cross next to the two thieves. I mean, how many people are we going to crucify? Even Steph, whatever. Okay, so he dumped and took profits, whatever. I wouldn't have taken that. I wouldn't have made that decision. That was his choice. Those are his keys. That's his money, whatever. If he wants out, let him get out. No big deal. We have a lot of big players that want to protect and defend the price of HEX for many years to come.
I haven't seen the address. I just saw like a bunch of stuff thrown around, but I don't think maybe I'm wrong. Perhaps he's lost some positioning in the ranks, but I don't think he has really. Like it's not like he's like now a shark, or not, excuse me, now a shrimp or something like that, because he sold all the HEX and like he's motivated to stay in the game. Like he's designing, an app that benefits, the entire ecosystem, and he's actually sounds like he's venturing off into some other security ventures as well. So curious to see what he's got going on there.
Guys, no comments about the blinking. There's no blinking once or blinking twice to buy something or sell something. You guys make your own decisions. You guys
I haven't gotten that far yet.
You guys use that against me, and I'm not falling for that trap. You guys are responsible for every decision that you make in markets, whether you understand them or not. So if you're going to participate in markets, you probably want to figure out, like, you probably want to spend some time researching and understand those markets. Don't sit there and just rely on people. If they make you wealthy, then you praise them. If you get poor, then you like crucify them. No, like, you're responsible for your own decisions.
Yeah. Yash, if Richard Hart was a hot chick with fancy clothes and fancy stuff, crypto would want more. LOL. So true. So true. Another financial advice question from the Dingo Wolf. Cabana, do we get a copy of Stables USDC at launch, or better having all in HEX, etc.? Well, I don't know for sure, but what I would probably do is, as cheap as HEX is, that's like one of the things that I've got my eye on. I like that play. If you're looking at stables, we've discussed on this show before, like if you had to pick one gun to head, like USDT, USDC, or DAI to come closest to holding, its value, I think, multiple participants on this show have said DAI. If you want something safer, I don't know, but I would just assume, that would be the one out of the stables if you would want to hold a stable. But I really like HEX. You get a copy, and it's going to be probably the most supported, or one of the most supported tokens on both chains. So I like HEX. That is my opinion only. Okay.
I think holding stables at before the launch of mainnet is a mistake, because USDC will be invalidated on PulseChain. So why would you hold USDC and have an invalidated copy? That makes no sense to me. And because people know that, do you think they'd be willing to bond the assets to USDC? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced of that. I think that's the most risky play. Actually, a great way, I think, to actually bring value over to PulseChain is either hold HEX or hold Pulse Doge. So I think you should maybe choose.
I was waiting for it.
Or hold. Honestly, you could hold both. And I think people should just I say both because I think people should just make the decision for themselves. Hold the token that you think will hold value better, because that's in the best interest of your wallet, regardless of what anyone else does.
Shout out to Maxi as well. I think that would,
maybe Maxi's another play. I haven't done any research except for the fact that I totally support anything that buys HEX and locks it for 15.2 years. So you have my support for that.
What else let's see. Yes. Yes, there's the blink. Okay, so I caught up a little bit there. Oh, man.
You guys have no expectations of profit from the blinks of others.
There
Whether
you go.
one blink or two blinks or infinite blinks.
There you go. Tigray asks, can we please stop saying PP? So, Gunther, we should not say PP anymore, like big PP, small PP, any of the PPs really. 6-3 PP. Are you good with not saying PP anymore, or should we keep saying PP?
It's going to be in some of the names. For example, PLSD is Pulse Doge when you bridge it over, right? Or Pulse.
Oh boy,
sorry, that was a lame joke. That was an old dad joke.
Yeah, I got it. And we've started something in chat, so there we go. Anyway.
I think all the women left. It's all men at this point.
Yeah, it's still got over 300 men. Good job, men. Thanks for sticking around. Here's a theory from Mudhog. Swap PLS when it pumps, and we'll pump for HEX and PLSX. Swap some pulse when it pumps.
Oh, okay. So reallocate it into HEX and PulseX. Probably a smart play, especially
it all has to do with timing, right? So it's like that assumes you know.
Yeah, you are trading, so there's risk. But if Pulse does have a major bull run and PulseX is crashing, then it only makes sense to swap some of that Pulse into PulseX, what you would think is the bottom. And I think actually a lot of people missed. Good job. We got Sandy here. Nice. Hell yeah. We need more women. More women, please. Less men, more women. Please. Please, guys. Oh, yeah. Another one. Yeah. Unless it's a man posing as a woman.
I think I
posed as red panties 42069. So a hot woman. So yeah. But yeah, like a lot of people miss the sacrifice for Pulse. So my thinking is it's possible, and I don't know this, pure speculation, could be 100% wrong, but maybe PulseX like kind of crashes because people want to swap into Pulse to have a position in that as well. or maybe people have too much of a dominant position in PulseX because they had more money at the time. So, for example, I have I won't get into numbers, but my position in PulseX is much larger than my position in Pulse. Maybe
I think a lot of people are, just based upon, people didn't realize, I think, at the beginning, or weren't notified, or, didn't acknowledge the existence of PulseChain. And then that SAC went, great. And then more and more came out about, people were starting to like what they were hearing about PulseChain. It was like, okay, well, I'm not going to miss this PulseX. And just money piled in to PulseX. And now, like you said, the conventional thinking is that money out of the two is going to be, the hot hands, and they're going to be like, trying to, usher that out to other areas. Perhaps PulseChain, that'd be awesome. I'd love both. But perhaps HEX as well. I mean, HEX keeps, staying down here in price, around a nickel. Why wouldn't you, if you got like a nice little bump in your, I was going to say bump in your SAC, so you all can have fun with the audio. If you get a nice little bump in your SAC, you can take some of that SAC money and move it over to HEX.
Especially if your bags, like if it starts trading at like 25x or 50x or 100x from your sacrifice point, like if you got in the flat part of the curve, you got to think that there's going to be some large players that are going to be extracting profits, especially people that have been without this money for this period of time. Let's say PulseChain launches at the end of the year, for example. I think you would see some definite sell pressure and some extracting of profits. I'm just speculating.
Yep. What else? Yes, other price questions. What price do you think Pulse and PulseX will launch at? I don't know, but I think a more fair question would be, because no one knows about the price, especially, if we're in the midst of a bear market, who the heck knows, right? It's just pure guess and speculation, and that could be wildly off. But I think, I guess I'll pose it to you this way, Gunther, is, do you think both or one of those two, Pulse and PulseX, will launch above the initial SAC amount, the SAC price?
I think both of them will be trading far above the initial.
Far above.
I think so. I think they'll be overvalued.
Even PulseX.
Yeah,
for a brief time, I guess.
Yeah, I think they will be overvalued. Now that's just pure speculation, and I'm talking about like the best possible SAC rate on the flat part of the bonding curve for Pulse and PulseX. I don't see the prices trading at below SAC rate. I just don't see that. I don't see that happening because you're not going to have larger wallets control the market, right? Everyone else is just along for the ride. This is true in any market. Larger wallets are not going to be selling if the price is below the SAC rate. That would be stupid, right? Like, you don't sell below your average acquisition price. That's just dumb. Unless you want to like murder the chart with some like malicious plan. But even then, like, what's the liquidity going to be like? And it's a brand new network. I don't think people would take those kind of risks.
Yeah, but I mean, there are some people who likely, and I'm not saying it's a lot of people, but there are some out there who quite possibly over invested or invested money that they thought that they would be getting back in a much shorter period of time. And I think those ones, unfortunately, might be the ones that are just like, I need it back. They're they over leveraged themselves. I'm not saying they, borrowed anything. Perhaps they did, but they're going to have to take that money off the table, and that could, be a source of.
That's a good point. I mean, because at the end of the day, this is a bear market, and people that are desperate for cash are willing to sell at a loss because they need that capital back for whatever they need it for. So that's a solid point that you make. Pardon me, I'll be right back. 1 second. All right, so leave you by yourself. That's really bad, I know.
It's quite all right. I love our chat. What is going on, chat? Don't forget, says Brenton, PulseX will be burning from day one volume. Very correct. Brizology with excellent input as always. Toby One. Yes, if you have a bump in your sack, see a doctor immediately. Yeah, Mango, he broke the seal. And that's what happens when you do. I actually done quite good this stream. But yeah, totally true. What else is in here? I feel like Big Pep going through the comments and answering pretty much anything and everything that I see. Although if I was Big Pep, I would probably just pull up every single one and comment on them. Yes, Bob the Guy, PP. This is turned into the Big Pep impersonation show. Crypto True 365, PulseX for life. So many didn't want to know, or excuse me, so many didn't know about Pulse. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's, that was kind of like the initial one, and then people missed it, and then some serious FOMO happened with PulseX because either hey, I just want some, or if perhaps a lot more people were thinking more advanced, hey, I could get some of this and then move it over back over into PulseChain, since I missed out on that one. Yeah, we just covered the price there. Pot of gold. Rothko, HEX can't be invalidated. HEX can't be stocked. HEX is the only way. Absolutely. What else we got here, chat? All right, chat's moving a little faster. Is Gunther taking the Browns to the Super Bowl? No, because he came back rather quickly. So. Well done. I see what you did there. What else? Lots of crypto. Yeah, Gunther went to dump the kids off at the liquidity pool. That's probably the best one I've seen.
I'll give you that. I like it all out.
Yeah. Pep streams are awesome. Yeah, I love Big Pep. Unfortunately, it's Saturday morning, so I'm busy, but I always try to listen to those later on that night. I just love off the cuff. I love touching on traditional markets, latest headlines and stuff like that. He was on very early. I think it wasn't even a happy hour. We just did a stream together. One of my first ones, and we just had a great chat. And HEX was at 0.8 of a penny. I remember looking that up on the chart. So we've come a long way since then. Went up to 50 some cents, and now back down to a nickel. So
yeah, painful. You know what sucks is during this market crash, how every lower high in HEX was murdered, and it was intentional. But it's also kind of what you would expect, though, in a major market crash. That's what happens: is every high is the lower high, and people just make emotional decisions. And this gets into market psychology. It's really interesting to watch. It almost looks like the Bitcoin crash of 2017. If you compare the HEX crash with Bitcoin crash, and then what happened after that crash was that the price went from $168 to $19,891 over the span of I'm reading the message, over the span of 3 years. One
dead. So funny.
Hey, damn.
That's a lot of zeros. Sorry to do that to you. Hands.
Strong hands. Yeah, they were talking about my big hands. Yes. I do have really fat fingers. They're not elegant, so it's really fat, short.
I do too, man. I got fat knuckles.
Not attractive.
Really. Yeah. But yeah, what is? Do you have TA on the current chart? I can bring it up actually.
Yeah, yeah, you can pull up the chart. Could you bring up possibly the I'd say the monthly chart on V1?
Oh, that goes all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. I'll just pull it up so you guys can see me mess around live. Let's go here. Yes. Go monthly.
and then switch to Heiken Ashi. You get a clear image.
Where is your?
Click on candles.
There it is.
This way it shows a more clear change in trend. So I think what we might actually see. So how many candle? 3, 5, 8. Okay, you could see a bounce on the 9th candle, possibly. It's not guaranteed, maybe, or it could just kind of go for a while. It's just hard to say what this will do. I mean, this is really just one giant bull flag if you think about it. But I think the most, like, without any type of moon boy predictions, like just the most conservative projection of what I think the price might do. I think this might. I think what we're seeing now, the red candles, is just basically an Elliott wave 2, where the green candles up on the monthly chart is just one giant wave 1, and wave 2s are very like brutal. It's not. I don't think the price is going to really drop much below what it hit. I think that's basically the bottom. I don't know if that's the bottom. I'm just guessing. No one has a crystal ball, but I think maybe the price sort of just takes, like, kind of has like a rounded bottom. Like, it doesn't, like, when markets crash like this, they don't just instantly go back up to the all-time high. They can't, because every broken support is just like a broken resistance. And it really, with HEX, it takes too much economic mass and energy to push the price up. At this point, you need a lot of money to move the price back up to the all-time high, because as you move the price up, sellers come out to play again and dump the price, and then you end up becoming exit liquidity. And big and smart money and big whales, they don't want to just put, they want to use their money in an efficient way. They don't want their capital to be used as exit liquidity or to be used in a very inefficient way. They don't want to just make the dumpers rich, right? Do you want to give the guy that dumps 140 million HEX more money? No, you'd rather them just sort of murder the price. So I think what will happen is the price will sort of just have a rounded bottom. Maybe it takes 2 to 3 years to return to the previous all-time high of 51.3 cents. So maybe sometime in September of 2024. And then I think at that point, it just breaks it and then maybe goes on like a mega bull run for like 3 consecutive years, because you've had all this time to shake out the lettuce hands, the plebs, the weak hands, all the ones crying and bitching and moaning, everyone that got wrecked, everyone that doesn't understand these markets. You just shake all of them out. And even the early guys, you shake out all the early guys, all the guys that got wealthy. I'm talking about the guys that don't have like long stakes, right? You just shake out all their liquid funds, and you might see a lot of trading or a lot of volatility to make that shakeout happen. That's just what I think. I could be 100% wrong.
Yeah, a couple things here. Like, this is the V1 chart, so the price is obviously, not what it is now. Currently, I think we're at 0.57, and this says 0.66. So the liquidity is just pretty much disappeared. But for chart's sake, that's why we're taking a look at this. What else was it going to say?
Steph's making he's asked some important questions in the chat. We could maybe address those.
Go for it.
Yeah, so
why does Gunther keep wrongly calling me out? Why the vendetta? Why the lies? Why in the world would I effing sell the daily RSI record low? I feed on bottoms.
I mean,
he goes on. I've been in crypto for 8 years. I've seen cycles. I knew about shares 99.99% of the community to invent the leagues. Stop with the nonsensical claims.
Hey, I hope I'm 100% wrong. Maybe the addresses that I have on file don't actually belong to you, and it really doesn't matter if they do or not. So if I'm 100% wrong, I really hope that's the case, because it would suck if it isn't the case, because then you would just like be digging a deeper pit and maybe like building your own grave. But if you are correct in what you're saying, then I do apologize if I have it wrong.
There you go. And Steph has, not just HEX in some of his wallets, I do believe. This is just rumor on my part because I'm not scoping out his wallet, but I have heard he's been known to sell tops. So why would he sell in, like you just said, an RSI bottom? If one trades, you're going to nail some tops every now and then as well. So
the problem is, it's just hard when you have a team of analysts that are like the best forensic analysts in HEX, that I fuck every address.
and people have doxed themselves in the past.
I with an I.
And then those analysts have done some solid research, and they've come to these conclusions. There is a lot of evidence that could be presented, but we don't present evidence because we don't want to dox people. We'd more just rather just like call out people if they are doing things that seem to be evil or malicious or saying one thing or doing the next. I mean, come on, you guys called me out. You guys said, hey, you're the guy that dumped Hedron. And I finally came forward and I admitted it and said, yeah, sure, you guys are right. It doesn't feel good to be doxxed, though, and I think people should have the right to privacy. And I also think that people, if they want to sell, they can sell. Like Steph, if you're still listening in the chat, like you are more than welcome to sell all the HEX that you have. You're more than welcome to dump at any price if that is your choice. Those are your keys. That's your money. That's not our choices or our decisions. So you know what I mean? It just would suck though if there is malicious activity, but then claiming that there isn't, but then it's still going on. I think that's just disingenuous and like lying to an entire community. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case. I'm just suggesting that would suck if that is the case.
I'd want to like touch on that because you mentioned that, and I know people, some, not a lot or tons, but some were, when we talked about this at the beginning of the show, were up in arms about you and Hedron, and then you said you changed your worldview. I mean, Richard Hart changed his worldview on Ethereum, and swung that way instead of Bitcoin after a while. I've seen this question, in chat, and you on GCR's stream, I think touched on this as well there. But I wanted to bring it up here because, as I've said before, there are a ton of HEX PulseChain ecosystem streams out there. Not everybody has time to watch them all. So someone, we have our own crowd here. Welcome everybody that's new. We have a ton of viewers tonight. But the point of, okay, well, you changed your view on Hedron. What is going to stop you from changing your point of view on Pulse Doge? Because you seem to be very bullish on that now. So some of the skeptics out there, I've seen this, on social medias or chat comments of the streams I've watched with you.
Yeah.
What say you on that point?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. I would say that Hedron was a very unique, like once in a lifetime type of trade. I'm not a trader. If you could look at wallets that I control, if you think I own certain wallets, right? You could go through those and look. I was looking at the spams in the comments. Naked HD fun. As I got distracted.
Watch stream, girls here.
Yeah. You could look at wallets that you think I control. I can tell you I'm a shark in the network. My average stake length is 11 years. And I am retired from HEX and I live off of quarterly stakes. I don't think that's the type of behavior that's evil or malicious. So Hedron was just one of those unique situations where I realized that a bunch of like large players were about to dump on my head. And I basically changed updated my worldview in real time and front ran them so that I could extract that value and then reallocate that money into other assets where my money would be treated better. You didn't see me buying Lambos with that money, or Gucci or Louis Vuitton, or look, where's the jewelry? Where's the watches? Where's the rings? $12, $15 NASA t-shirt, $20 pairs of jeans. I mean, you could accuse me, okay, well, you have a Tesla, but I bought that earlier on with HEX, right? So I'm just saying, like, no one can trust. So this is blockchain, right? No, obviously, this is a trustless system. You don't want to put trust in people. But I can just say this, and I've given my word in the Pulse Doge chat, and I've also given my word on Twitter. You will never, ever see a single Pulse Doge token market sold from any wallets that you think I might own, whether I own them or not.
Breaking news.
And you could hold me to it. It's on a live stream. Hang on, just 1 second. I'll let you go.
We've been muted. So there you go. there's, I guess, that answer to that particular question. E. Anderson, keep cancel culture out of this community piece. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, and I fully support that. I like, as long as it has to do with our ecosystem, which I believe, a Maxi does, a Hedron does, a Pulse Doge, it all touches parts of, this Hex / Pulse Chain ecosystem, and I'm going to support as many of these guys as I see fit. Liquid Loans, another project out there. Fiat, all these. I think it's, especially with the PulseChain side coming hopefully before end of summer, end of year, what have you. It's a whole new world. The ecosystem is just going to explode everywhere with all these new products, but there are going to be some that are aimed, I'm not saying that they will, but aimed to increase or support the prices of Hex. I know Motley and the Legion guys are working on stuff. They're wheels are always turning over there. Goat in chat earlier, they have something cooking there, so there's a ton of stuff, and some of it can be good, guys. I just don't want, I've said this before on the stream, don't just turn everything down and finger point. Let's at least take a look at some of this or everything, and then make your decisions after you've actually taken a look at some stuff. So
yeah. Hey, I think somebody made the comment, like, what if I updated my worldview and changed and then basically like decided to like sell Pulse Doge? Well, here's the difference. I've given my word and I'm a man of my word. And so you can hold me to that. You can make your own financial decisions. I don't think you should, if you're afraid of what one wallet does, I don't think you should be participating in that market. You know what I mean? Yeah. Small bladder. Yeah. Yeah. I've been drinking like coffee. What else did I have? Whatever that strawberry acai drink was, a lemonade, Corona. So yeah, I've been peeing all day.
Yeah. What else we got here?
Also asked, they kind of alluded that I might own multiple addresses in Pulse Doge, and I just want to make the comment that I may or may not control one, but no more than one.
There you go. Yash chimes in, yes, sir. If you have ideas, or more importantly, devs, DM him or someone in LVC. Yeah, I did see that they are looking for quality devs there. So, case in point, lots of stuff happening behind the scenes, lots of ideas out there. Many of those, with the goal of supporting the ecosystem, whether it be PulseChain and or Hex.
Somebody can send me a diaper if they want to. I agree with you about the money printers. I mean, most people don't understand these markets, so the best thing that they could do is literally buy Hex and build a staking ladder up to 5,555. For everyone else, sure, it's just a meme coin, right? It just has a silly dog logo. It's just a basic ERC20 token. But the fact of the matter remains, does anyone care about utility in crypto, or do they just care about making money? I'm pretty sure that people only care about making money. And if you can make money with something, then you should probably put your money into that thing to grow your money. So I usually follow what big money is doing. Like I look at, like, for example, like Pulse or PulseX sacrifices. I saw big money sacrificing for those things, and I followed their footsteps. And Hex, I saw big money like Godwell 2xing the price in one candle. So I followed footsteps, right? So you probably want to follow the money and go where the money goes. Otherwise, you're probably going to lose a lot of money, or you're going to lose like opportunities, right?
Yeah. If you're talking just meme coins specifics, like there are meme coins out there that have trillions of supply. Pulse Doge is going to have a handful of million. That's with an M. Probably less than 10 million. I'd say well under 10 million. So a million versus trillions of supply. So, people like to then go to the market cap game. So what, a lot of these projects, worth billions, tens of billions of dollars, I don't even know what Dogecoins is or SHIB, but they were way up there. But okay, market cap. What would it take for a $50 million market cap, like a $10 Pulse Doge potentially? That's it.
Well, you could figure out what the US dollar value is of all the liquidity pools. There's really just two main ones. Pulse Doge is paired with USDC and also paired with HEX.
Yeah. So my point is, it wouldn't
take that much. Yeah. Sorry, maybe I went too deep on that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take that much. And also, you have to think about Bitcoin supply, right? Bitcoin at the end of the day is just a meme coin. What's the utility? I'll wait. What's the utility? Okay, Bitcoin is a meme coin. Bitcoin has a max supply of 21 million. Pulse Doge has a max supply of 12 million. And actually, at the end of the day, it'll probably be 5 to 6 million. But if you think about the duplicate copy, let's say 6 million on both networks, 12 million. That's like half the supply of Bitcoin. What would be crazy? This is who knows what the price can do. No one.
I feel like you're going to do some wild speculation here. Go ahead. I like it.
All right. So let me just preface this before the wild speculation. This is just Moon Boy fantasy. Wild speculation of a highly speculative asset. And if you put any trust in my words, then you're an idiot. No, I don't want to say you're an idiot. I just want to say, like, you could lose all your money, price could go to zero. But what if it didn't? What if the price matched the price of a Bitcoin, for example, 69,000? What if? Who knows?
I mean, $10 would be cool to a lot of people. $100 would be cool to a lot of people.
Well, I mean, sure, at $10, a lot of people will cash out because
absolutely. That's just like HEX at like $1 or $5. It's like, it doesn't go. These things don't go just straight there. And to your point earlier, it's like, people, with the weak hands will be looking for the exit liquidity because they don't know if we're back in a bull until probably it's too late. So that's the obstacle going back up, is people will take advantage of these rises in price to offload. And we brought the chart up from Dipcatcher last week, and his theory was it would take, I think, maybe at least 2 years for HEX to maybe even get back, kind of like in an uptrend. Like his chart had it, I don't have it, on this machine, but his chart had it pretty much stalling out like at a nickel, I believe, or below for years. Hey, possible. I don't want to see it. I don't think that's going to happen, especially, with two chains. I can see the P HEX side. I wanted to say PP LSD, but from Briz there earlier, because we're not supposed to say PP anywhere. But yeah, I can't see that happening in terms of the price staying that low, especially if whales come into the system, because that's another thing. People are, angry at, some people, selling and, mad at certain whales for, perhaps suppressing price and manipulation and all these, normal pleb excuses. I consider them pleb excuses. But whales, I think, are going to help make the bottom too. Just like God Whale sent, the HEX chart, up and to the right for months and months and months, as we just, saw there, maybe 20, 30 minutes ago. The whales are going to make the bottom, in my opinion. So you're going to see, that volume was going to correspond with the price rise, whenever that is. I personally think it's very likely to happen around the launch of PulseChain. So that's why I can't see that situation of cheap HEX lasting for years, unless PulseChain takes years from now to launch, which I certainly hope not. So.
No, but even when PulseChain launches, you got to think everyone's getting a free copy of all their liquid HEX. They're getting more tokens.
Yeah,
so that makes me only think that there's more sell pressure, which means an extended bear market, in my opinion. I could be 100% wrong, but that's just sort of like my take on it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope I'm wrong about that. Trust me, I'm not fighting my own bags, man. you could go check my wallets. I'm 100% staked. I don't even have one HEX liquid. I have quarterly stakes that come out, and I usually spend that just for living in full transparency. But those are small stakes. Those were like 250,000 HEX stakes with interest, right? Yeah. I don't have millions of HEX sitting in my wallet. It's all staked. Average stake length 11 years.
There you go. I am building my length of stake.
Brizology really does not like the dog coins. So maybe I could just comment, right? So like, definitely we don't want to tell people where they should put their money. But I think it's important to understand that meme coins have done really well. And if we could capture some of those people and save some of those people and bring their money into Pulse Doge, then what we can do is we automatically introduce them to PulseChain because they get a free duplicate copy on PulseChain, right? So now they have Pulse Doge on PulseChain. Then we could transition them into another meme token called Helgo. You could go to helgo.io for more information. So
about goat.
Yeah, and you go from dogs to goats, right? And Helgo is just a meme token on the surface, but it has deep tokenomics designed to pump HEX. Actually, to get Helgo, you actually have to give up HEX to get it. If you don't have HEX, you got to buy HEX. So now they're introduced to HEX, right? And then because they're on PulseChain, they're also introduced to Pulse and PulseX. My point being is that you guys got to see the bigger picture. You got to see, oh, here we go, Helgo. You got to see the bigger picture. Look at Pulse Doge as a Trojan horse, the Trojan horse that brings you into Helgo, HEX, Pulse, PulseX, and any other assets that live on the network. So you guys can't just, and also we're not trying to cannibalize HEX. We're not trying to take, we don't want money from the ecosystem. Sure, we know that wallets will always do what's in their best interest, right? So some players, of course, they'll swap HEX for Pulse Doge because they think that's a better play for them, and we can't tell them what to do or what not to do with their money. However,
or some will just rage quit.
Yeah, or some will rage quit and they just want to go into something else, or they'll just go into USDC and spend it, whatever. What we'd like to do, at least in the Pulse Doge community, is we'd like to bring in outside money. We want to attack all the meme token communities and outreach to them. Why do you think all of our hashtags on Twitter, Doge, Shiba, Cheem, why are we doing that? What is our strategy? What are we trying to do? We are trying to bring in outside money, bring it into this ecosystem. So if anything, I think we should get some more support from Hexicans. Hey, by the way, this was airdropped to Hexicans for free. The founder, hex.info, there's only one founder. I'm not the founder. I'm just an investor, serious investor like Helgo. I lost my train of thought.
The founder of Hex. Hex.
Yeah, the founder airdropped Pulse Doge to the best class of people, to the staker class, the ones that can actually hold. And it's true, not everyone holds. Some people dump. Some people say they're not dumping, but they're dumping anyway. Whatever. We all sell at some point. No one's accusing it. No one is putting down selling. We're all okay with selling. We get it. We all sell, right? That's not the point. The point is they're the best class of people to airdrop something to. They're the most likely people to hold something for a long period of time. So I think that's really cool. They got free money. They can dump it, or oh, sorry, I got distracted. I was reading the message.
Oh, I'll stop putting chats up.
Yeah, but my mind is very focused. So, like, if you throw up if a little bunny.
Oh, don't worry about it. I do it for everybody else watching while you talk. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I think you guys get the point. Like we're trying to outreach and bring in outside money, and I think that will be good for everyone. And another thing too, if you notice on Twitter, I'm not trying to sell one asset. I'm trying to sell our assets as a bundle package. I don't know if people notice that. Why do I put HEX, Pulse, PulseX, Pulse Doge, Helgo, Hedron, Maximus, anything I think I try to sell as a whole complete bundled package instead of just selling one colored Skittle and one bag of Skittles. Hey, buy the bag of Skittles. Buy the whole bag. Here you go. Right? This is so I think it's a more effective strategy. It's not shilling one token or having some tunnel vision for one token. That's retarded. That's not effective marketing or advertising.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
No, I agree with it. And people want, things that go up. So if this had like trillions in supply and, just no, nothing, nothing going for it, just like pure meme, high supply, typical meme dog animal octopus coin, I wouldn't be interested. But
Yeah,
the like potentially like a 6-7 million, maybe less supply, that is very unique. Like name something out there that kind of fits that exact those exact parameters.
it's very intriguing too. Also, think about this: what are the owners doing of other meme tokens, like say Doge? They're actually fudding their own bags and dumping on people's heads. And I get it. You guys like have trust issues, right? With some wallets that have dumped in the past. I get it, right? I get it. But the fact of the matter is, what if those wallets actually are good actors? What if they want the asset to do really well? Who moves markets? Is it all the small players? No, it's always big money. All the small players are always along for the ride. It's the big wallets that move markets. The beauty of Pulse Doge is that you have anyone could actually become a whale, but you have to buy your way in. You're not gonna make it with your free claim. Okay, so you're a dolphin. You got 900 tokens. Okay, it goes to $10. You can dump it at $10. You got $9,000. Congratulations. You got $9,000. You can go blow that at the casino or go buy some fancy clothes or do whatever you want with it, pay your rent for like 9 months or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's free money. That's awesome. But the fact is you can't murder the price unless you hold for, let's say, like a 1,000x return on investment. Okay, now you have $900,000. That's like life-changing money. But that would be awesome if you actually held for 1,000x. There's no staking. So that means you actually have to have diamond hands. You can't bullshit your way through that. So, my point is that anyone that wants to become a whale in this particular asset or in any other asset on PulseChain, like Richard has mentioned, you got to buy your way in, and it's expensive. It launched at $1, and today it went to like $5.67. It's currently trading
$3.83.
$3.83. Okay, so let's just say roughly $4, right? If you want to buy 50,000 tokens, and I'd say probably 50,000 or more is like a whale in Pulse Doge, then you got to get ready to cough up $200,000. So and my point is this: if you're a whale and you're
going to send the price, to astronomical levels, because we saw just what 19,000 coins did.
Well, if you market buy, you will, but if you set up a buy wall, you won't.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about doing it properly.
Yeah, exactly. And gotcha. We're actually trying to this is the difference too. Yep. Also in Pulse Doge community, we're educating people about proper market buying and proper market selling, like extracting value, meaning LP positions to extract value when you're ready to sell, and LP positions to buy your way in. Not everyone follows that, but we're at least educating people. I don't really see that happening in HEX. I'd like to see that more, but this is a great opportunity to like teach people the right way. So yeah, you could buy your way in, and how do you? So rumor has it that one of the whales pushed the price up several times when they saw sellers dumping, especially dumping down to 73.5 cents. They ratcheted the price up to a certain amount, and then they set a buy wall, a very generous buy wall to give sellers a way out. And they could have set it really low, like between like $1 and $1.50. But they actually set the buy wall between $3.69 and $3.31. And it was a $143,000 buy wall, and sellers ate right through it. It's a very generous buy wall because, like, hey, you know what? You guys want out? It's a bear market. We understand. We'll give you some free money and give you more value, because that buy wall could have been set at $1, right? Or $1.25 or whatever.
And then, if the price surpasses what they sold it for, then FOMO could happen. Or, if they think that they're not getting back in for what they originally sold it for, or under what they sold it for, then it's just the FOMO cycle. And then it's like, oh, we've seen it in HEX before. Like, horrible HEX traders like sell, and then price moves against them, and then they buy higher, and then they sell lower, and then price moves, and it's just that's why HEX exists, to take your soft lettuce hands out of the equation. And
it's hard for me to read this comment by Steph where he's saying, glad I dumped those airdrops for HEX as soon as I could. They get you to trade 24/7. I get it. I mean, that's not necessarily the case. You might just actually buy the asset and hold it. But it's hard for me to read that when I'm looking at addresses that are connected to addresses where you've doxed yourself. And those addresses have actually dumped like 40 million HEX. So it's hard for me to actually believe those words. It's easy to say certain things, but wallets don't lie. Like wallets have all the actions in them, just like you could see me dumping Hedron. The only difference is I agree. I owned up to that, and I came on and explained exactly what I did. But if you come on and lie and pretend that things didn't happen, well, I think that's really shady.
Well, then, let's end this episode on a more positive note.
Yeah.
If we may. Just trying to find something to do that on. What are you headed to Chicago for the first pitch deal? Are you doing any stops on the Million Pulse tour? Are you headed to PulseCon?
Honestly, I'm living a pretty busy life these days. I'm a full-time dad. That's number one priority for me.
Cool.
I actually want to do more live streams. If you noticed, I've been nonstop on Twitter. I've been nonstop with live streams. He's shilling coins that he dumps and moves on to show another coin, for fuck's sake.
Steph, bro, I there's a link in the chat if you might not have access, but you're certainly welcome to come on. And I know you're on last week, but you're certainly welcome. But anyway, I don't want this to turn into like a award chat. But I mean, feel free to go back and forth, because
it would be great actually if Steph came on and maybe explained his position and maybe demonstrated that everything that we think is true is not true, because even Richard Hart called Steph out on Twitter. Why are you giving me advice when you're dumping my asset? Why would Richard say that? And also, what about a private team of forensic analysts that know your wallets and have connected them and see the behavior? I mean, I don't think it's a smart play at this point to dig your own grave. If there was some activity that happened, just maybe own up to it and talk about it. No big deal. I'm not losing any sleep over it. But yeah, I don't think we should have like infighting necessarily, but I also think that people should be truthful and honest. Just as you guys expect that from me, I also expect that from others.
Fiat wants to know, when are you ready to sell?
Yeah. Top wallets will never market sell Pulse Doge.
You can short HEX. Hey, Cody Willard.
Yeah, you could. Hey, add Pulse Doge to Fiat and short Pulse Doge. Please short Pulse Doge on PulseChain. Please, I beg you.
Might work for a small while in a bear market, but I would not like to try to short things in a bull market. I don't care if it's crypto, stocks, whatever. It's just you're playing against the house there, man. Jawa, I'm super happy for Maxi and PLSD. I'm glad Hedron could pay the way for them to be successful. Hedron ate up all of the FUD for you. I can understand that point. Fair enough. Let's see.
Oh, can you post that again? I missed that. Sorry, my mind was.
Oh yeah, where'd we go? There you go. Yeah.
No, this is actually a really good point, because Hedron did pave the way, because a lot of that money was injected into Pulse Doge to give it value as a brand new asset, and other larger players came in as a result of that. So we do give much thanks to Alex for creating Hedron for another opportunity, and the HSIs. The HSIs is the most important thing.
That is the most important thing.
Please, instead of and even if so let's assume in the instance that Steph has never dumped. Let's give Steph the benefit of the doubt and say that Steph has never ever mega dumped HEX to short the market for personal gain, and then basically lied about it or pretended that it didn't happen. Let's assume that that's true. Whoever dumped 40 million or 87 million HEX or 140 million HEX, fuck you, because you could have created an HSI on Hedron and you could have done an over-the-counter trade. So fuck you. whoever that was.
The rage quitter.
Who knows?
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else before we?
He's coming in. We're coming in at the end of the stream, though. I mean, I have a stream at 8 o'clock, so, but he could come in for a few minutes if he wants. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably go a lot quicker than going in and out of chat. Am I supposed to feel bad for flipping my Hedron for HEX? No, I don't think so. It's up to you, man. Like, I'd feel more sad if you did HEX for Hedron, but hey, that's over and done with, and I think that phase is pretty much done. So, oh boy, everybody's getting popcorn ready.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, now the real party starts. I mean,
y'all are just.
Hey, if you could invite Steph in for just a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I have to go like soon, but maybe I don't know.
He said he'll be here.
Okay, nice. Just to give him, I think that would be
I think that'd be.
I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, the way to expedite this entire thing, hopefully quickly.
Yeah, let him speak and let him speak for himself rather than people speaking on his behalf.
Let's see. Hedron was made to be sold. I mean, it's being treated as such. I don't necessarily agree that it was, made for it, but it is kind of, serving as a derivative product. So it's like, for the amount of tokens, and Gunther said this at the beginning, it's like, once you had other people look at it and kind of confirm, your internal feelings / research on it, it's like, okay, well, it makes more sense to kind of like sell this one that is kind of inflated at will, basically, for the coming years. Potentially it could be, I think it's just going to take years for it to, not necessarily bottom out, but, for price to actually, find I don't know what the proper term is, but I just think it's going to take a while for it to just, level off and ready to go. Steph, I did ping you, man. DM'd. Pretty sure I did. A while ago. Unless you're in Telegram. And then I have to look at that. But check Twitter. But
yeah, Key makes a very good point Hedron was designed so that you would relieve sell pressure from HEX, and that would be your exit liquidity. But it's ironic when players actually used it as exit liquidity, they were crucified. But that's one of the design elements. I'm not saying but yeah, anyway. That would be great. Hey, launch PulseChain, please.
If that's what it takes,
yeah,
let's go. So, let's see. Goodness. Oh yeah. What stream are you going on tonight? I'll pump that up too.
Oh yeah, thanks. What stream? I've had so many streams.
Is it a discourse?
Let me. Man, I gotta go. I have to go back and check my message.
I apologize to the host of this stream that Gunther will be on. I'm kidding. Let's see, where are we at?
Is he coming on now, or we could also do it? It could also be done a separate stream. Like, I don't have to be on here; it doesn't matter, right? Like, it'd be nice just for Steph to defend himself.
Yeah, I know he's a super busy dude, so at least here we go. What is up, my friend?
Hi guys, it's good evening for me because it's a bit late here in Paris, but I just wanted to come on because I find it a bit like shady just to call out people like that without having any evidence and also being wrong, right? The evidence and overwhelming evidence that I've been committing my time and my heart to the HEX community for the past 2 years. I probably created or founded the first business, legally registered business, working on top of HEX. I've employed five people right now, and the net positive amount of capital being brought to the HEX community by my single effort and my partners is overwhelming. So it's a bit shocking to me when people come to call me out. They don't have any evidence. They're wrong. So my advice to them is if you think your star are doing chain analysis, go back to work. try to learn graph theory and try to make probabilistic thinking when you think that some funds are moving from addresses to addresses, it doesn't mean that these individuals could be connected. So that's my first point. People are really wrong because they don't know shit. They see it's like seeing like text out of a text on a messaging app out of the context and inferring a lot of story of like what was the intent of the person, from what you seeing being read on the text. The last point I want to say is like it's an insult to my brain to tell me that I would be selling the bottom, the historical RSI daily RSI low on X, right? I was the first one creating a liquidity pool on Uniswap V3. I've been the first one knowing about, maybe not the first, right? Kyle was there, a couple of other people creating the game theory and T-shares on X. So, my IQ would be so low to come in here and just market dump that much X. I've got business, I've got employees, I've got a lot of vested interest in the ecosystem. These accusations don't make any sense, right? So I'm being trashed publicly. I got a vendetta of like 4 or 5 people not trying to just paint me as someone that is not contributing to the community. They are wrong. They don't bring any evidence. And I don't know who is winning there. We're all in the same winning team. So next time someone's calling someone out for selling, I would say just do a better job doing your work of analysis. This is what you like to do. But right now it's not the case. So that's my position right now. I'm very pissed because I'm busy with a lot of things I need to do for the release of Staker in upcoming weeks. And now I need to fight a battle of people messaging me and just doing damage control on my reputation for people lying behind my back. And this is disgusting. So unless you have evidence, like clear evidence of me clicking on a button and making a market sale, or you just shut the fuck up, right? You can try to just picture me as evil, but think about long term, right? Assuming I'm not the person and I'm in the game for 10, 15, 30 years. Why would you want to make me an enemy versus an ally? Right? It's a long term game. I have no incentive just to kill myself in the shoot in the feet like that. So I would, and it's really funny because these things happens. People want to stab you in the back when the price is very low, right? If anything, and you can look at my Twitter for that. Before the price crashed recently, I set it up, and I mentioned that in the last stream last week, Cabana. I set up buy limit orders, and I got filled. Some of them got filled. I was even explaining last week that depending on the platform that you're using, because the way blockchain works, which is there's a way to index the different transactions that you need to sign. If you were to place multiple orders, right, let's say at 6 cents, 5 cents, and 4 cents, some of them below might be expired because you need to now resign them, right? And so my advice to people by putting buy limit orders would be just to put them on different accounts with different signatures so that they can be executed in parallel. I think I'm done. I was about to go to bed, but again, I don't know why people will just want to trash someone who's producing a lot of value for the community. And I comes here just explain to everybody that he sold the bottom of Hedron and just dumped the bottom on people's head when he was just shilling the price, and now he's shilling those shitcoins. There is no evidence in my Twitter feed or anywhere publicly of me shilling anything else than X. No evidence. So keep shilling your tokens, keep doing whatever you want, but look at what your behaviors before attacking others.
Can I just ask a question? Have you ever like market dumped a large portion of HEX at any point in time since the inception of HEX? Not to affect the price dramatically. Yeah. I'm talking like have you ever dumped like let's say 10 million HEX or more at one point?
No.
All right.
We good? For now. I mean, bear markets are tough. So yeah. It brings out the worst, and probably hopefully that's it. That's like
that shows you who's bringing the worst of the conversation. There's people attacking others.
I see Twitter. So yeah, I mean it's like
I've received like threats. It's always the same thing. Anonymous comes out, They make threats, physical threats. Why are you doing this? There's no evidence. No one is accountable. I got a fucking registered business, legally business in Paris with my name, with my profile. You can sue me if I want, if you don't like the app that I'm building with my teammates. So people that don't have any skin in the game and make accusations that makes no sense. So next time, and I would invite also people having a voice, that when people shilling tokens, making false accusation, that they bring evidence, right? It's too easy just to get away with accusing people without having any evidence. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. But also, like,
too easy.
Bringing evidence also, like, publicly doxes, like, certain addresses.
So you prefer just calling out a name like that? It's just too easy. You don't bring evidence. You say, this guy is just having a bad behavior for the community, and I'm just calling out. But I can't tell. I won't share anything because I don't want to dox the person. That doesn't make any sense. You ask anyone there. That doesn't make any sense. Just be a man, own up to whatever you claim, and then we'll see, right?
Okay. So is it okay to release the addresses publicly on Twitter?
You can do whatever you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But I just came in here to clear the false accusation, mean market dumping the bottom with $40 million or X.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that we saw something dumb in HEX.
Okay. Well, I'm dumb. I must be the dumbest one, right? From everybody you interact with the entire day, I must be the dumbest person in the community.
Also, what your comment about not having skin in the game? I mean, I'm a shark. I have plenty of skin in the game. So where's that coming from?
No, I'm saying, given my position, doing what you're accusing me to be doing doesn't make any sense, right?
So let's suppose that the best forensic analyst in HEX have connected.
Best according to who? Best according to who?
It's a private group. It doesn't matter. It's a private group.
Yeah, you're making claims. It's always the same thing. Unknown, private, the best. I don't see any evidence of whatever you're saying. So to me, it's like full of shit, full of bullshit. Right, and so people could make mistakes. And people could make mistakes, right?
It's true. I agree. You can. It's easy to make mistakes in chain analysis because, for example, you could own a wallet and you send a bunch of money to different addresses and you think they're connected. You may not have control over those addresses. So I mean,
exactly.
I agree with you 100%. I don't disagree. And I also don't want to be disrespectful to you because I acknowledge all of the good things.
After trying to trash me publicly on Twitter and now in the stream, calling my name, you could have moved on and chill your coin without me, involving me. But you keep just dabbling down on my name. So I had to come in. I'm pissed. I had to come in here because it's too much. It's too much.
If as long as it's okay if we release a set of addresses that we think are connected to you, and if they're not connected, whatever. It honestly doesn't really matter. This is probably not a very productive conversation anyway. It probably doesn't.
Oh, it matters because people keep having a voice and shilling tokens and making claims, and so I won't just be there just standing back and saying, well, it's all okay. Just try to attack me. Just paint me. It's always the thing with rumors. Once you leak something out there, it travels so fast and say, oh, now I get messages from people asking me, right? Oh, are you gonna rug pull? Are you gonna rug pull the application? Are you still gonna work on it? It's like, this is the impact of releasing false information. You create even more fear. And now I need to do damage control while I'm fully committed to the business. I haven't taken any vacation in the past 2 years, right? Just a couple of slope in the ski trip last February.
So
I don't know what to do. It's like you try your best just to try to help a community. People become maxi, people angry, people have resentment, people have different level of bags. What can I say?
So why is Richard on Twitter saying why are people giving me advice on things to do when they're selling HEX? Why did he say that to you? Why does Richard think? Yes. Why is Richard
I don't think
thinking
he said that directly?
Did he say did it to me specifically or?
That was my interpretation, but maybe that was wrong.
Yeah. You're interpreting stuff. It's like analysis. You don't have clear evidence, but then you're coming up with a fantasy story that you have in your mind. It's funny. It's really really funny. The best analysis that I need of my ass. Yeah, just doing an interpretation that makes no sense.
Yeah, I didn't take that.
I hope you're right, and if you are right, I apologize. But it would be really shitty though if you were just lying to everyone. That's all I'm suggesting.
Yeah, you think that I'm gonna keep digging my own graves and being the most stupid person?
I see your tweets on Twitter, on the bottom feeder, and like all these other tweets that only suggest.
What does that mean? What does that mean to be bottom feeder?
HEX, and then
what does that mean?
A better advantage.
What does that mean to be bottom feeder? Buying the dip, not selling the bottom. Think about it. If you cannot even read English, what can I say to you? And you look at my Twitter feed for the past 2 years. Look at me where I've been shilling any user token. I've been manipulative. Most of my messages about being consistent about dealing gratification, security, is very consistent. So now you're trying to paint me something I'm not. Have fun. I know the bear market is tough for a lot of people. It's so easy to paint for anonymous people, not you specifically, but I've seen that a lot in the past couple of days, to come after people and say, oh, you're this, because people are tired, because people are afraid, because people are scared.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't really bother me or affect me. It's just about optics, I guess, overall. If you're telling the truth, then the truth will set you free and will redeem you. You know, you have nothing to worry about. But it's only if you're lying, then you'll be exposed eventually. And then
so I got a bunch of trolls coming to me without any evidence, and then I start blocking them, and they use that argument to say, "Oh, that tells a lot of love to me." No, that says like I don't want to be ever engage with these people. So probably after this stream, Gunther, we may not engage with each other because I don't see the point. Right. So, but thank you for letting me come in. I know you have another stream. Good luck with that, and thank you, Cabana. Sorry for being a bit passionate there. It's never pleasant just to be accused wrongly. So I just to come on, and now I'm going back to sleep. Thank you.
I would probably be the same way. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, I better. What time? Oh man, I got to roll out. It's 8 o'clock. All right, see you guys later. Sorry, that's how we ended, but at least he got to come on and defend himself.
That's all good. Where can people find you on Twitter in case something does get posted? We'll end with that.
Yeah, and it may not.
I'm just saying
how productive that would be. But,
I was just finding a clever way to shill your Twitter handle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wolverine _2241.
There you go.
All right. See you guys later.
We will wrap it there. Thanks to Gunther, of course, Motley and Tendies, Big K stopping by earlier in the show. Quite an eventful something for everyone show. And we will see you next week. I will be remote, but we'll still try to put out a show for you and catch up on the latest. So cheers, everybody.